Hey folks, Coom here. Headed to the lake this weekend? Don't forget the essentials, and I don't mean sunscreen. I mean Yingling, traditional lager and light lager. There's a golden pilsner and, of course, Flight by Yingling. Light and crisp at just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Trust me, nothing kills the vibe like running out of beer. So before you hit the lake, hit the store and load up with Yingling. Legends stand the test of time, just like lake weekends. Yingling, official beer of the Cubs Radio Network. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-
Excuse me, when I'm not working, I'm not keeping the scorebook, so it kind of gives.
But, finding those small mechanical adjustments.
American Sale. Bring the fun home.
Spiegel and Holmes talk Cubs baseball on Chicago Sports every weekday from 2 to 6 on 670 The Score and the Odyssey app. Cubs in Houston. This is the Cubs Radio pregame show, driven by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Buick and GMC dealers. It is time now for the inside pitch, and we say hello to Score Baseball insider Bruce Levine.
When do both teams get exactly what they wish for in a blockbuster trade? It appears that is exactly what the Cubs and Astros accomplished last winter when the Northsiders picked up all-star Kyle Tucker from Houston. The cost was deep. Number 1 draft pick Cam Smith, third baseman Itzhak Paredes, and Hayden Wesneski. Smith told me that's the game of baseball.
It's really just, about me, Isak, and Wesneski doing our job to, replace a player like that. And maybe it takes 3 of us or not. But, obviously they traded a great player, and the Cubs have him now, and he's doing a great job with them. But, now it's our time to step up and do our best to, fill what they need.
Zach? Smith at age 23 has shown his great potential this weekend. Paredes' 16 home runs is a perfect fit as a pull hitter in Houston. As for Tucker, the man has proved what a superstar can mean to an everyday lineup that is headed toward the playoffs.
Yeah, had 4 hits, including that big 3-run home run in yesterday's ball game. Bruce, thanks. The Cubs take on the Guardians in a 3-game series starting this Tuesday, July 1st. Be here for it. Get your tickets at Cubs.com/tickets. Coming up, Miguel making progress. Next on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey Cubs fans, it's Craig Counsell. Listen to every game here on the Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
There's nothing better than watching the game live. And with Xfinity Sports and News TV, you can stream over 50 live channels for $150 less than YouTube TV per year.
Durable and effortlessly beautiful. Find yours at your locally owned retailer. Visit BenjaminMoore.com.
Radio pregame show driven by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Buick and GMC dealers. Time now to check on who's hot and cold. Sponsored by Plumbers 911. Plumbing emergency, call the professionals. Available 24/7 at 1-833-PLUM-911. Kyle Tucker's hitting .367 over his last 7 games with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. The cold, Justin Turner, batting .188 over his last 7 games. The injury report is sponsored by Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. Visit IBJI.com for locations and services. Miguel Amaya has resumed baseball activities. The target date for his return is around the All-Star break. Amaya is trying to work his way back from an oblique strain. Coming up, meeting the media, next on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
The Cubs play here with Hall of Famer Pat Hughes and All-Star Ron Coomer on the Cubs Radio Network.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been.
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed, yeah, a.k.a. Urine or Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Well, we'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
Cubs fans, check out the Compound Podcast with Chicago Cubs outfielder Ian Happ. Listen as Ian takes you behind the scenes as he and his guests share what it's like to live the baseball life.
It's one of those blackout swings where you just black out. It happens a few times a year where you just black out. You're not really sure how you did it.
As Happ, it's a high fly ball, deep center. It's got a chance. Gone.
Behind the scenes talk with Chicago Cub Ian Happ. Only from the Compound Podcast.
Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
BC Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Cubs Astros in Houston. This is the Cubs Radio pregame show driven by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Buick and GMC dealers. In our Cubs conversation, at the end of each month, we conduct a reporter roundtable to review what has transpired. Joined now by the Chicago Tribune's Megan Montemuro and MLB.com's Jordan Bastian. And Megan, what did we learn about the Cubs in June?
That they can weather those rough stretches and still stay in the fight. I mean, I think there were certainly some questions where they had that stretch of losing 5 of 6 games, including the first 2 in St. Louis. They really bounced back those second 2 games. And then you look in Houston, rough first game, bounce back Saturday night. So I think that's like a really encouraging sign for when, things might not be clicking on all cylinders, especially, with starting rotation, that they're capable of weathering those moments and moving forward and not letting those turn into huge slumps.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because there were 2 stretches in this month. One where the offense kind of went out and the team actually won more games during that stretch. And then there was a more recent stretch where the offense turned it up again and there was some adversity and some losses and some struggles on the pitching side. And then it kind of is even back out again lately, and they've started to look more like the team that we saw in April and May. So I thought that was interesting that when the offense went out, they were still finding ways to win. And I think that's a pretty important component of this team, and that's something that they talked a lot about early in the season, that's the way this roster was built, and we've kind of seen that bore out here.
Megan, do you think the Cubs need to add to get better, or can they get better internally?
I think both can be true. I mean, I think there's room, especially on the starting pitching side, just more consistency. But, if this is a team that is looking to make not only the playoffs, but make a deep run, which, that they've all talked about, what their big term goals are for the season, yeah, I think they have to add. I mean, I think the most obvious side is obviously pitching, whether it's another starter, whether it's a more experienced veteran reliever. When you look at the group, I mean, I think they have a lot to like internally, but as Jed Hoyer said recently, you have to anticipate your needs after July 31st. And so I would expect them to find additions. It'll be interesting to see what the trade market is like, and if there are not many sellers, that obviously will complicate things. But yeah, there's definitely room to add externally. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, rotation's number one. They have to add another starter. I think that's a must. I think bullpen is sort of, if there's something opportunistic, you can do it. The one that I'm actually fascinated about right now is third base. base. I think Matt Shaw, we've seen a couple games recently where he's started to look like he's trending back up again, but that's the one vulnerable spot on this lineup, or a couple of the bench spots where I think you could either look for a third baseman or you could look to shore up that bench to just really solidify the group. I think it's important, as Megan noted, that you're planning for the last 2 months in October and you don't have that secondary trade deadline like we used to. So you, at the July 31st trade deadline now, they have to look at not just the immediate need, but what might the need be 2 months down the road, because this is your last opportunity to make an addition. So I'm fascinated to see how they handle third base.
One of the things that fascinates me is when we look at the Cubs generally in Chicago, it's through a vacuum. But when you zoom out and you look at the rest of the National League Central, what stands out to you about the division here over the second half of this season?
I mean, I think to me, for...
Man, these seats. I know, right? Thank you, Game Time. Easiest way to find only the best deals on the best seats. I wonder how the other guys are doing.
These seats are trash. What the heck, man? I spent hours finding a deal on these. Trash.
Oof. Finding seats for prices this good is tough. They should have used Game Time. No more endless searching. Just great options at incredible prices with their Game Time picks. What time is it? Game Time.
Well, when we moved downtown San Diego from Qualcomm to Petco Ballpark, new uniforms were on the way, and this is the Padre home white. This jersey is from 2007, which was a career year for myself, winning a Cy Young. There's some different memories that stand out. One in this uniform against the Braves, where I struck out a Padre record 16, wearing this jersey, trying to make the Padre and the Friar faithful proud.
A snack that Freddie cannot resist.
I would have to say chips and guacamole. Organic mango, yep.
Is that because of the strong Dominican contingent in the major leagues, bro? Has anybody ever struck out and gone crazy and smashed the cooler full of mangoes?
Nah, our team's not really into smashing each other's stuff, I guess.
Are you a seasoning guy? You like to drown your stuff in dips and sauces?
No. Gotta watch my figure.
And it looks great, brother.
I appreciate it.
Very sexy man. Yeah, let's go, Freddie Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
It's easy to overlook what Michael Busch has done, and he just has quietly put together a really great season, which I think is really impressive. So between that and then I think, obviously I think Cub fans, for those who've been, watching the games, recognize what Brad Keller, Chris Flexen, Drew Pomeranz have done. But I think outside of that, I don't think what that group has done, bullpen-wise, especially that trio, has been catching much attention at a national level. I mean, they have collectively a 1.03 ERA in about 87 relief innings this year, which is pretty crazy impressive. So I think those two things have quietly fueled a lot of their success this year.
Megan, Jordan, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
The Chicago Tribune's Megan Montemurro and MLB.com's Jordan Bastian in our reporter roundtable this month. The Cubs strongly encourage the use of all public transportation, especially CTA buses and trains, when traveling to Wrigley Field. For all games, the Cubs offer a free bike valet service located by the Addison Red Line station. For details, visit Cubs.com/transportation. Coming up, the Manager Show with a twist. That's next on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey Cubs fans, it's Ian Happ. Listen to every game here on the Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Step up to the plate like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and more. Whether you're betting with the home team or scouting the next big matchup, take your swing with the Circa Sports app. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. That's circasports.com.
Hey there, baseball fans. Ron Coomer here. It's time to step up to the plate and upgrade your deck with TimberTech. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand. It looks like real wood, but without the never-ending maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, splinter, and is even backed by industry-leading warranties. So you'll be sure that your deck looks great season after season. See for yourself why TimberTech is everything wood should be. Order free samples at timbertech.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer everyone should have. It eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat to achieve perfection. Order one now on chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Cubs Astros in Houston. Time now to hear from Cubs manager Craig Counsell, sponsored by the Village of New Lenox, leading the way in residential and economic development. Subbing in for Counsell on this Sunday is bench coach Ryan Flaherty, who says the baseball adversity the Cubs have endured this month can be helpful.
It's important to go through it on an individual level and a team level. You know, and the guy we were just talking about, Shaw, is, you know, the adversity that he's going through on an individual level, I think is going to benefit him greatly, you know, in years to come down the road. And then a team too, you know, I think there's a tough stretch here. You know, it's a tough month. It's hot. There's a lot of games. Play good teams. And, you know, the resiliency to hold up through that time is going to be important for us as we get later in the year.
What have you observed from teams when there are guys who come in like a Tucker, a Presley, and then there's younger players like Shaw and Morton who get to see just how they carry themselves? Like, do you believe in that culture aspect where they can, you know, have an impact on the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I think, you know, the 2 guys you mentioned, Tucker, Presley, I mean, Justin Turner, an example last night is, you know, Pete's 0 for 4. Paredes hits a homer off the left field foul pole, and Pete's, you know, busting his butt all the way over there to back up the ball in case it ricochets. And Turner's the first guy who notices in the dugout. And I think, you know, the ability to have that older player there mention it, talk about it, it just brings so much awareness for a younger player that they can build off that, and it's special for them to have those kind of players around.
And does Turner say stuff to you guys?
Do you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes, we do. We are known by our brisket.
Barbecue brisket sandwich. Quality is better than other places, and it looks good. We're ready to eat.
We go to an average 500 briskets per game. We hear a lot from our fans. They want to try something with wrap, easy to eat. So we say, well, let's do it like brisket, wrap, and an egg roll.
That's beautiful. You get the gold medal for culinary brisketry here in Texas.
Yes.
Wow. Old school D-backs jersey. This was our alternate jersey that we wore on Saturdays. I was the first team to wear the new colors. They called it Sedona Red. Don't mess up that color. Every time I wore this jersey, I would wear the high socks, black jersey, black hat. I just thought it was a really smooth look, and this is one that I'll never forget.
Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Dear Summer, ready to get your adrenaline pumping? Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Toyota, let's go places.
Cubs in Houston. Let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the score in the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Listen to the Cubs game in FM quality at 104.3 HD2 FM on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network. We are WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Who Are You Banking On is sponsored by Busey Bank. Building business, growing wealth since 1868. I'm going to bank on Carson Kelly, who's hitting better than 400 over his last 7 games. The pitching matchup is sponsored by Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. Enjoy the laid-back experience of Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. Veteran right-hander Jamison Tyone going for the Cubs, 7-5 with a 4.47 ERA. He's coming off back-to-back losses to Milwaukee and St. Louis, allowing a combined 13 runs in 8 innings. Left-hander Framber Valdez going for the Astros, 8-4, a 2.88 ERA through 7 scoreless innings against Philadelphia this past Tuesday. Let's go around baseball, sponsored by Great Clips. It's going to be great. Top of the 2nd inning, the Pirates lead the Mets 5-0. O'Neill, Cruz, and Tommy Pham both going deep for Pittsburgh. Rays and Orioles scoreless, top of the 2nd. Bottom 2, Blue Jays and Red Sox are tied at 2. In the top of the 2nd inning, the Phillies and Braves are scoreless. Bottom 2, the Yankees lead the A's 1-0. Jazz Chisholm Jr. with his 13th home run. Last of the 2nd, Padres and Reds are scoreless. And the Cardinals lead the Guardians 5-0 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Victor Scott II with a 2-run home run.
I can't imagine transitioning from loving baseball cards to then knowing it's inevitably coming that you're going to be on baseball cards. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I think the first card I saw was when they did something for USA Baseball, and then now seeing my face, seeing me playing baseball on a card, it was surreal. It wasn't that it was that moment where like, wow, this is really something.
It's a 3-run homer.
This is what you came here for. You got the Cubs game on the score.
Chicago Cubs baseball is presented to you in part by Benny's Beverage Depot, Nissan, Benjamin Moore, Hefty Trash Bags, Arturo Tire, James Hardy Building Products, Sea Glass Wine, Volvo, Sloan, Xfinity, It's Not a Game, Illinois.com, your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, and Yingling, the oldest brewery in America. And now here's the Hall of Famer, Pat Hughes, an all-star.
I was so inspired by what you were making that I want to do my own all-star ballpark bite, but I'm thinking we take some of that brisket that you make, and I'm going to do like a little slider. Got the pepper jack cheese, some American, get it going with some of the barbecue sauce that you have, that spicy, delicious one, and then caramelized onions. Make like a little sandwich. We cool?
Sound like a plan.
I think we did good.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks, Chef.
Like build this for them and spend the last year of coming up with this concept and getting it off the ground and getting everybody here. Like, it just feels really good to have everybody coming and experiencing the thing that we've been working so hard on. To be able to like take the experiences of Comic-Con and add that to a card show just is really fulfilling, because as somebody who grew up going to card shows and still goes to the same card show in the same church basement in Trumbull, Connecticut every month, like, it's great. Card shows are amazing.
Jose Altuve batting third and playing second base. The cleanup man is the former Cubs farmhand Cam Smith. Smith is the right fielder. Yainer Diaz catching. Christian Walker batting sixth and playing first base. The left fielder is Cooper Hummel. Mauricio Dubon at short, and batting ninth and playing third base, Luis Guillorme. So there you have the lineups. Game time temperatures, it's another scorching summer day outside, 90 degrees here in the Lone Star State, but a very comfortable 73 with the air conditioning on as we play indoors for the third consecutive game. Game time temperature sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, your trusted local experts, Four Seasons. Cubs occupy the third base dugout here in Texas. Cubs wearing their traveling uniforms, the gray shirts and trousers, red numbers on their backs, blue hats and helmets, blue sleeves and socks. Most of the Cubs wear white shoes, but some guys wear the blue kicks. The Astros occupy the first base dugout, and they're going to have their home whites with some orange mixed in, black numbers trimmed in orange, and dark hats. Uniform description sponsored by Benjamin Moore. On the field or the walls of your home, the right team and colors make all the difference. Official paint of the Chicago Cubs, Benjamin Moore. We are ready to go. Final game of the series, final game of the road trip. The Cubs can win both the series and finish with a winning record on the trip through St. Louis and Houston. Let's see if they can achieve both of those with a win here today. Back to get it started. Cubs and Astros right after this on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Take the Cubs with you in the Chicagoland area on the free Odyssey app. We are the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2025.
It's game time. Time to crack open a Yingling. After 196 years, the wait is over. Yingling is finally available here in Illinois. Look for it at your favorite bar or store. Yingling, the oldest brewery in America. And you just said it, Pat. Cubs have a chance to have a very good road trip going through St. Louis and Houston, two very good ball clubs, and this would be a really nice game to win today against Valdez.
Ron, especially after losing the first two in St. Louis, you thought it might be an uphill battle all week long, but the Cubs battled back, gained the split by winning the final two against the Cards, and now a very competitive two games here resulting in wins for each team. Today, the Cubs offense will have their work cut out for them. Framber Valdez, and I'm not sure why, but he's one of the most under-publicized, top-notch pitchers in the big leagues. Maybe it's because he plays down here in Houston. I'm not sure what the reason is, but when you look at what he's done over the last 3 or 4 years, he's one of the best in baseball.
Yeah, he may not get a lot of publicity, but I guarantee you the Cubs hitters don't feel that way, nor do the hitters in the National League and the American League. This guy's got great stuff, good fastball, good curveball, and an excellent changeup. We have seen him throw spectacular games. He's been an all-star a couple times, and he is one of those guys when he is on, you better get him early, and you better be prepared to hit when you step in the box. As you get to 2 strikes, he can be very tough.
I was just watching a little video of Framber Valdez as the Astros have taken the field. Valdez making his final few warm-up tosses. We're just about ready for the start of the game. But every single pitch that he throws has movement. One way it's sinking, it's darting down, it's rising. He just doesn't throw any straight pitches.
Yeah, he's got some deception, too, with that short arm action. So, his fastball, he very seldom throws a 4-seam fastball. It's always a 2-seamer that has good movement. His curveball is an excellent breaking pitch. And then we all know about his changeup is a plus pitch. So, to me, the one thing that he will do, because he likes to pitch ahead in the count, he will throw you some pitches in the middle of the plate. You just can't take them when he does.
The Astros on the field, they've brought out their navy blue shirts with orange numbers on their backs and the white trousers and dark hats. Valdez, long, stringy, dark hair flowing out the back of his cap. In fact, that hair goes all the way down and covers part of the number on his back. That's how long his hair is. You've never had hair that long, have you?
No, I don't recall that. I don't, no.
It's never too late to start, Ron.
Well, we could do it together. It'd be something here in the booth.
Tell you what, you go first. We'll see what the reaction is, and then I'll follow suit.
Got it.
We are ready to go, the Cubs and the Astros. Ian Happ will lead things off. Ian having a rough series, 1 for 11, but he's hit the ball hard a few times. Let's see if he can get on base to start this Sunday game, and we thank you for joining us. Framber Valdez, big left-hander from the Dominican Republic, delivers to Happ. It's in for a strike, and away we go. Cubs leadoff man presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. If Ian Happ gets a base hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Happ batting right-handed, takes strike 2 call. Sometimes when you're facing a guy who's kind of a mystery on the mound, and I would put Valdez in that category. The Cubs have only faced him for 1 career start. That was back in 2023. I think Happ has taken the approach, and now time called. I'm not sure what the issue is.
Valdez has a big, thick chain around his neck, and it broke on the second pitch. And he was having a hard time getting it in his pocket, so Alfonso Marquez came out, brought a ball boy out to get the chain. So they're all good. Counts just wanted to know what was going on, but count is 0-2.
But Ian Happ has taken the first 2 pitches just to let his teammates see what kind of stuff Valdez is featuring. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Check swing. It is strike 3. Happ ruled to have swung. Ian thought he checked. He glared down at Alfonso Marquez, the first base umpire, but it was a swing as we watch it again. And that's out number 1.
Yeah, a little slider down and in. Fastball. 2 seamers running away at the top of the zone against Ian. Then that slider, not really a slider, more of a curveball, down and in, and Ian couldn't hold back.
Kyle Tucker put on a great show last night. 4 hits, including a home run. And I would say his homer in the 4th inning, the 3-run homer that gave the Cubs a commanding lead of 7-2, was the big blow of the game. Lefty to lefty, here comes the 1-0 from Valdez. Fastball away, and the count 2-0. Tucker hangs in there pretty well against lefties. Overall, hitting .291. Framber Valdez spells his name F-R-A-M-B-E-R. Off-speed pitch floats in there for a strike, 2-1.
That's the thing about this guy. He will use all of his pitches, especially top three, the fastball, the curveball, and the changeup, just about in any count.
Now the 2-1. Tucker hits a chopper foul, and they count 2-2. Outfield deep and straight away against Kyle Tucker. Defensive alignment sponsored by Fitzgerald Equipment. Material handling handled. Learn more at FitzgeraldEquipment.com. No score, just underway, and the 2-2. Ripped on the ground, that's fair. Past a diving Walker down the right field line. It bounces off the sidewall, and Tucker has a double. Against the left-hander, we mentioned he hangs in there pretty well. And it's a two-base hit with one away in the top of the first of a scoreless game.
Well, you mentioned it, and not only did he hang in, but this is a breaking ball and staying back. Also, big key. He stayed back on that hook, didn't commit early, and just kept it fair over the bag. Walker really no chance of catching this ball going down the line. So Cubs' first hit is a double.
Let's see if the Cubs can get on the board against Valdez. Seiya Suzuki, the batter, hits a high fly ball foul off to the right and out of play. Valdez coming off of a strong outing against the Phillies. 7 shutout innings 5 days ago, and that was a win. He's ready to work 0-1 to Seiya, and Suzuki takes low and inside for a ball. Valdez, you look at all the numbers, they're impressive, but one that jumped out at me, Ron, only 6 homers allowed in 103 innings of work.
He is good, and that's in a ballpark that's a very homer-friendly ballpark.
Now the 1-1 from the lefty, and that dips down low, and the count 2-1.
You know, for years you would talk about left-handed pitchers and you know, the Boston Red Sox not really wanting a lot of lefties in the rotation because of the short porch and left, the Green Monster. Same thing here in Houston with those Crawford boxes and left are very short. And for a lefty to not be giving up home runs in this ballpark is pretty good.
Fastball is high, now 3-1. What's the approach here?
I think you look for the pitch you want. If you're Suzuki, look for the fastball inside, inner half, and be ready to hit it. If you don't get it, you just take.
Tucker leads at second. Here's a liner toward right. Smith is there to make the catch. And that's out number 2. Sharply hit ball. Cam Smith, the former Cubs minor leaguer. He was part of the Kyle Tucker trade last offseason. He had him played perfectly and only had to move about 5 feet to make the catch at knee level. 2 down, and here's Dansby Swanson.
Pretty good swing by Seiya on that 2-seam fastball running away. You can only hit it on the nose. You can't always direct it. First inning, powered by Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated.
Dansby having a good series, 4 for 8. He hits one in the air, deep right center, going back Myers. Myers, deep right center, makes the catch on the warning track. Swanson gave it a long ride, but Myers ran it down. The Cubs get a double from Tucker and nothing else. After a half inning, Cubs nothing, and Houston coming up on the score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs radio.
Well, this is a World Series card. Everybody said, what's it going to be to pitch against Sandy Koufax, who's a dominant pitcher? I said, I hope I don't embarrass myself. And I didn't. Pitched my first shutout ever. We won 6-0, and my parents were there. My mom was afraid of heights, so she was in the upper deck. She had to come down and trade seats with somebody so that she could actually watch her 20-year-old son pitch a shutout in the World Series.
Care, better pork.
Save time every time for a great haircut. Just download the Great Clips app or check in online at greatclips.com. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Houston native Jameson Tyone ready to go to work. First pitch to Isaac Paredes. Check swing. First offering is high, ball 1. Ron, I heard you talking with Zach Zaidman on the pregame show about Tyone returning to his hometown. And here comes the 1-0. Similar to when you would return to Chicago to play as a member of the Minnesota Twins and others.
It's exciting. It really is. You come into town and you get to see your family, you get to see friends.
Foul ball over our heads and out of play.
And there's an adrenaline to it. There's always adrenaline when you're playing a big league ball game. But there's something about coming home, the excitement of doing that. And it always brought out the best in my game. It really did. And I would anticipate that's the same for Tyone today. He's got a little extra adrenaline going for this ball game.
Paredes fouls one back. The count 1-2. Jamison coming off a couple of rough outings. Both have been losses to St. Louis most recently. That was back on June 24th. And he was beaten by Milwaukee on June 19. Here's a smash foul down the left field line. Out of play. He surrendered 8 earned runs against the Cardinals earlier this week. 20 games above 500 for his career, Tyone. The pitch popped up foul and back out of play.
Yeah, he had 6 in a row where he was very, very good. And in the last couple, it just seems to me, Pat, the command wasn't quite there. And losing command in the strike zone, not out of the strike zone.
Here's a bouncer foul. They are similar, but when you lose command in the strike zone, you give up hard hit balls.
Yeah, you do. You give up home runs, you give up hard hit balls when you lose command in the zone. And Tyone is a guy that's always been right around the plate.
The 1-2. Foul back toward our booth and out of play. We might get a foul ball today. Are you ready?
I am ready. That last one was close. We had one right over our head. Yeah, day game after night game. I'm ready.
Forgot to pack my glove for this trip. Here's a swing and a foul off to the right out of play.
I think I'm ready because all the coffee I had, though, to be quite honest.
We are located just off to the first base side behind home plate. We're nice and close to the action here in Houston. It's a good location. Now the 1-2 pitch. High for a ball. 2-2. Might have overthrown that one a little bit. Paredes 4 for 8 in this series with a home run. Played briefly with the Cubs last season. Here comes the 2-2. Check swing foul back on a shoulder high fastball. 11 pitches by Tyone to the very first batter, and he's still batting.
Yeah, Paredes has done a good job of just extending the at-bat.
The big right-hander fires. A little looper, shallow right, down the line. Gonna drop for a base hit. Paredes will hold with a single. I like Carson Kelly following the runner up the first baseline just in case Paredes had taken a big turn. Kelly was there to try to get him picked off.
Yeah, that's a good pitch by Tyone. It's a sweeping breaking ball. Good slider, and Paredes pulls off it, but just cues it right up the end of the bat and dumps it right down the first base line. You're right. If he takes another 2 steps towards second, they throw behind him, and he would have been out at first.
Jake Myers, the batter, hitting .307. and he'll foul it away. No score, bottom of the first, a runner at first. Myers 2 for 6 in this series. Another big crowd. We've had 39,000 plus for each of the first 2 games. Now the 0-1 fouled away. 0-2 on Myers. I don't know if we're going to get quite that many in attendance today. I see some empties in the upper deck that have not been empty the first 2 nights.
Still a good crowd. A lot of Cub fans. As we were walking yesterday from the ballpark back to the hotel, lots and lots of Cubs jerseys and T-shirts and hats.
Now the 0-2 from Tyone. Chopper foul at the plate. How does that make you feel when somebody's wearing a Cubs jersey with the name Coomer on the back?
It's good. Yeah, it's when that first happens, it's a unique feeling. You know, when you first get in the league and maybe, you see a fan wearing your jersey.
Now the 0-2, a toss to first, not in time. I'll bet you've signed a few of those, right?
I have, yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
Still waiting for some that say either Hughes or Zaidman on the back.
Well, they just say HOF. That's, I don't know how much.
Here's a fastball high and the count 1-2.
I'm sure our public relations department would be happy to put a Hughes jersey together with like a little stick mic as the number and just put HOF next to it, and you'd get all you'd want to sign.
Here's a base hit up the middle. Stopping at second is Paredes. So the game has started on a rough note for Tyone. He's made a lot of good pitches already, Ron, but a lot of foul balls by the first 2 hitters, Paredes and Myers, and each at bat resulted in a single. So now 2 men on, nobody out, the middle of the order due up, and Tyone already 17 pitches down the road.
Yeah, you'd love to see Altuve hook a ground ball. This guy does a very good job, though, of getting the ball elevated to the pull side in his short porch.
Swinging a foul back by Altuve.
That was a breaking ball from J-Mo. 87 miles an hour, a little cutter. Speed gun powered by Xfinity. Gets seriously powerful Wi-Fi. Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming.
Altuve 261, a dozen home runs. Little right-handed batter, but he's always had power. And he takes high for a ball.
I would say this guy figured out how to hit in this ballpark maybe better than anybody I've ever seen. That short porch and left, he can lob balls into those Crawford seats as well as anybody.
Swings and misses. Now it's 1-2. What pitch would be on your mind right now?
Well, he's obviously not seeing the breaking ball that well. I would throw another hook. He was way out in front of that breaking ball.
John Birdie playing third today. Swanson at short, Horner at second, Turner at first. Here's a swing and a smash foul. A hanging breaking ball. He pulled it foul by less than a foot. It landed in the dirt beyond third, just missing the chalk line.
And Tyone, just by looking at his facial expression, not happy with that last pitch. He made a good pitch the pitch before, and then that one he threw right down the middle.
No score, bottom of the first. Astros threatening, runners at first and second. The pitch to Altuve, strike 3 call. He buckled his knees with a curveball, and that's out number 1. Big strikeout.
Well, this ball starts out up. Altuve thinks it's going to be high, and it comes down. Good breaking ball. Tyone got on top of that one and got good downward tilt to get the top of the strike zone.
Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers. We'll get to that in a minute. Cam Smith, the batter. And Smith takes a strike. Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Smith has had an impressive series. 4 for 6 with 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. The 0-1, strike 2 call. Do you go right after him or try to get him to chase something here?
I would throw that same breaking ball, but I'd throw it about 4 or 5 inches farther off the plate away than where that last one was. That last one was a very good pitch.
Smith, the rookie, hitting .281. 7 home runs. He's driven in 33. And the strike 2 pitch. Check swing just a little bit low. Boy, that's a good pitch to throw on 0-2. You'll get a lot of swings and misses on that one.
Cam Smith did a very nice job. He started to go after it and just held up in time.
Big, strong right-hander Tyone to the belt. The 1-2. A little bit high. Didn't miss by much. Kelly kept the glove there. Apparently it was high. Let's see it again.
That could have been called a strike.
Sure could have. And now the 2-2. Runners lead. First and second. Fastball high. 27 pitches already for Tyone. With 1 away in the bottom of the first. Nothing game. Let's keep an eye on the runners now. They've got their leads. 3-2 on Cam Smith. The delivery pulled foul sharply toward third. It's got to be frustrating. He's made a lot of good pitches, but 28 pitches with only 1 away.
How about in this first inning, the Astros have fouled off 14 pitches in this inning.
It's a very high number. And the 3-2. Hit in the air to right field. It's deep, but it is playable for Tucker near the track. Makes the catch. Tagging from second and going to third is Paredes. Holding at first is Myers. And Cam Smith is out number 2.
Big out for Jamison. That ball very nearly went out of the ballpark. Smith hit it right on the button, but just right on the barrel, but just underneath it enough to keep it in the ballpark. And this is a good meeting. I was wondering if Tommy was going to come out. Tommy Hotovy taking a slow walk to the mound, and this is quite simply just to give Tyone a little breather, just to slow the game down a little bit. With all these pitches, 29 pitches in the first inning, he's got a chance with a over 30 pitch inning to get out of this inning without a run scored. You wouldn't say that too often.
Whenever there's a managerial challenge or an instant replay, a reminder, all reviews in this game are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine. A second opinion is always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine. They play the music and the loudspeakers are turned up to maximum decibel levels. And then you've got the sellout crowd, you've got the dome, so all of that noise makes it one of the loudest ballparks as Yainer Diaz steps in. Diaz takes low and outside for a ball. The domes always have that effect of there's nowhere for the sound to go. It goes up and hits the roof and comes right back at you.
Yeah, I played many years in the Metrodome in Minnesota, and when you'd get a packed house, it would get some kind of loud.
Now the 1-0 from Tyone to Diaz. And it's bounced to short. Swanson's got it. Go to second. There's the force. That's the inning. Excellent job by Tyone. He worked hard, but he gave up no runs. We go to inning number 2. 0-0 game on the score, and the Southwest Airlines.
Well, this is a World Series card. Everybody said, what's it going to be to pitch against Sandy Koufax, who's a dominant pitcher? I said, I hope I don't embarrass myself. And I didn't. Pitched my first shutout ever. We won 6-0, and my parents were there. My mom was afraid of heights, so she was in the upper deck. She had to come down and trade seats with somebody so that she could actually watch her 20-year-old son pitch a shutout in the World Series.
Fish or meat, chicken, fish or meat to achieve perfection. Order one now on chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
All right, Zach, second inning, nothing game. Pete Crow Armstrong. This will be an interesting matchup. I was thinking about this matchup earlier. You've got the young left-handed star outfielder for the Cubs against a veteran, established, left-handed, crafty pitcher. And Pete is looking for his first hit in the series, 0 for 7. And here we go, nothing game, second inning. First pitch by Valdez. In there for a called strike. Carson Kelly on deck, and then Nico Horner. Framber Valdez coming back, swing and a miss. Just the motion and the stuff, you can imagine how this guy would be tough against left-handed batters.
There's no doubt, absolutely.
Swing and a miss. A curveball got him. 3 pitches, and he strikes out Pete Crow Armstrong and the batter Carson Kelly.
Pete's in one of them stretches where, he's trying to figure out what his game plan's going to be. And, he's been swinging at pitches out of the zone. So then you go up there, your first at bat, you take the first one, he throws it right down the middle. Then he spins 2 breaking ball, fastball and breaking ball, and they're not in the zone, and you chase them just off the strike zone.
Kelly batting right-handed, takes low. Carson hitting .259. 9 home runs, 26 driven in. Valdez coming back, swing and a miss.
That's a changeup, 90-mile-an-hour changeup, and it's a good one. It's almost like a BP fastball. It's really, you wouldn't consider it a true changeup.
There is a pitch in there for a strike. Valdez, a big man, not that tall, 5'11", but solid, 230 pounds.
Yeah, he's got fullback written all over him, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He really does.
I know.
Now the 1-2 to Kelly, swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, and 3 so far in the game. Scoreless game, second inning, the batter Nico Horner. I'm reading about Valdez before the game run. He's been one of the most prolific ground ball pitchers in Major League history. Of the balls put in play against him, over 60% have been on the ground this year.
Well, and it goes right back to, and I was looking at that also today, and the importance of that in this ballpark, right, with that short porch in left field, extreme short porch, and then the ball carries well all over, and it's a good hitter's park to right. But the other thing is, and you were talking about it, the movement of his pitches. Great 2-seam fastball that he could throw for a strike, very good curveball that goes down, and a good changeup that goes down.
First pitch to Nico is a strike.
And oh, by the way, his command is plus, as we're seeing.
He works quickly. Here's a ground ball to third, scooped up by Guillorme, and the toss across in time. Cubs do nothing against Framber Valdez in the second inning. After an inning and a half, no score. This is the score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
I can't imagine transitioning from loving baseball cards to then knowing it's inevitably coming that you're going to be on baseball cards. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I think the first card I saw was when they did something for USA Baseball, and then now seeing my face, seeing me playing baseball on a card, it was surreal. It wasn't that it was that moment where like, wow, this is really something.
I think style, it's a very complicated thing. Custom cleats came when I earned the rights to wear custom cleats.
So I think without going out and being loud and saying this is who I am or whatever, you can just kind of wear a certain shoe or a glove or a batting glove or whatever, and it kind of shows who you are.
Additional terms and conditions apply.
Make smooth cuts with the Bosch miter saw. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
Pat and Ron, this Thursday, July 3rd, the Cubs celebrate the 100th anniversary of Cubs radio broadcasts. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Cubs Bluetooth speaker presented by Marriott Bonvoy. Be here for it. Get your tickets at Cubs.com/tickets. Pat?
Bottom of inning number 2, Christian Walker first up, and he'll take high from Jamison Tyone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Everyone looking forward to getting home. A day off tomorrow. The Cleveland Guardians come in on Tuesday night. Ground ball to short. Charging and picking is Swanson. The toss to first in plenty of time. And Christian Walker is out number 1. And here comes Cooper Hummel.
Playing after a long first inning. Did not give up a run, but a very long first inning, over 30 pitches. JMO could really use a couple quick innings here, pitch count wise, to get back on track.
Hummel, a left-handed batter, takes a strike. Let's go ahead and play the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. The 0-1 to the left-handed hitter is upstairs. I'll say we have 33,633.
Okay.
Now the 1-1. Called strike 2. Hummel 1 for 3 in the series.
35,500.
The 1-2 from the right-hander Tyone, dribbled back to the mound. A 1-hopper. Tyone's got it, jogs toward first, lobs it over to first in time. 2 quick outs here in the second inning in a scoreless game, and the batter Mauricio Dubon.
Good pitch by JMO inside to get the little comebacker, little jam shot. All reviews in this game are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine. Second opinion is always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine.
Dubon playing shortstop in place of the injured Jeremy Pena. Pena played the opener and got hit by a pitch and has not played either last night or today. And he's their best offensive player, so the Cubs getting a break in that regard.
They got hit with a changeup, 89-mile-an-hour changeup in the rib cage, in the left ribs.
2-0 pitch fouled away, 2-1.
I believe his 4th or 5th inning in that game. He had a couple at bats, and then Bond came in the second half of the ball game, and Pena took some swings today, is what we heard, but they decided to give him one more day because Houston has the day off tomorrow.
Strike 2 called. Both teams off tomorrow. The Cleveland Guardians at Wrigley on Tuesday night. And then the Cardinals are in on Friday. Here's a little liner into right center, a base hit. Over a leaping Horner behind second. It's a 2-out single for Mauricio Dubon. And the batter, Luis Guillorme.
Tell you, with Pena being on the bench, the one thing the Astros do have is they've got a quality replacement to put in there. This Dubon is a good player. You know, coming off the bench, he's hitting close to 250. He's got some pop in his bat. and can play shortstop very well. So that's a big bonus for a ball club to have a guy that can be a bench player and play that well defensively at short.
Fastball is high. As you say that, Ron, I'm reminded your depth is always tested in Major League Baseball. You play so many games, 162, your pitching staff, your everyday players, your depth always will be tested. Here comes the 1-0 pitch in there for, nope, taking a little bit high. I thought it looked good. It's ball 2, 2-0.
Yeah, you never know when it's coming, but it's coming, right? You're gonna lose some players from time to time.
Yeah, Taillon coming back to Guillorme, a foul. He was aggressive on the 2-0 pitch, and Guillorme fouled it away.
It's interesting to that fact in talking throughout this season with Craig Counsell and the way he looks at a major league season. He has brought that up, and his thought process of always looking at his roster and what he's got with that in mind constantly. It's a constant looking at what do we do if, and then the scenarios play out. And he goes, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because you know those things are going to happen. And it's for a manager, it's a really good way of looking at it, because you're never really surprised, right?
You've always got to have contingency plans. Here's a foul down the third base line off the bat of Luis Guillorme.
I think I've probably heard Counts talk more about that scenario than any other manager I've been around in broadcasting.
Now the 2-2 from Taillon. Strike 3 call. Kind of a delayed call by Lance Barrett, the umpire. Guillorme not overjoyed with that call. The inning comes to an end. Strikeout number 2 for.
A snack that Freddie cannot resist.
I would have to say chips and guacamole. Organic mango, yep.
Is that because of the strong Dominican contingent in the major leagues, bro? Has anybody ever struck out and gone crazy and smashed a cooler full of mangoes?
Nah, our team's not really into smashing each other's stuff, I guess.
Are you a seasoning guy? You like to drown your stuff in dips and sauces?
No. Gotta watch my figure.
And it looks great, brother.
I appreciate it.
Very sexy man.
Yeah,
Let's go, Freddie Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
Essentials, Daily Essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey Cubs fans, Pat Hughes here. It's shaping up to be an historic season. To start making history with your business in Bedford Park, visit villageofbedfordpark.com.
Valdez working on Justin Turner. First pitch to Justin is a strike. Turner actually has had some pretty good success against Framber Valdez, a man against whom he is 5 for 11 lifetime. The 0-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. And I'm sure there are a lot of guys who've had 11 at-bats against him that wish they had 5 hits.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? This guy's one of the premier pitchers in our game.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Justin Turner, low for a ball. John Birdie getting a start today. He's on deck. And then Ian Happ. It's
Great to see Johnny getting a start here today against the left-hander.
Let's see if Justin Turner can get on and get this third inning rolling. Nope, he swings and fouls it. Just did make contact to stay alive.
And foul ball took a bite out of Diaz behind home plate, the catcher. So you say you wanted to be a catcher, did you?
Never heard me say that.
Ooh. I did it in Little League till I was like 10. And then shortstop and pitcher were calling my name.
Turner swings and misses. Strike 3. A low off-speed pitch got him. Again, the movement is evident, and just about every single pitch, nothing is straight from this guy.
Yeah, he throws. Here's the key, and I know you've heard this before. He throws a lot of pitches that come out of the hand, and they get about halfway there. They look like strikes. They're not strikes. It's the pitches that, so you're on that pitch, and it's out of the strike zone.
Here's a line drive, left center field, base hit for John Birdie. Over to pick it up is the left fielder Hummel, and Birdie stumbles around first. He'll hold with a single. When the left fielder Hummel gloved that ball, he was almost in straightaway center field.
Yeah, they're playing Birdie way around towards right center, and Hummel bobbles this ball in left center. He dropped it real quick, recovered quickly. That's why Birdie took a big turn and then kind of stumbled a little bit, debating whether he was going to try to take second base, but Hummel jumped right on the ball, so good at bat for Birdie. Gets his first hit of the ball game.
Now let's see if Ian Happ can keep it going. Nothing game. Third inning, a man at first. Birdie running, the pitch high, throw to second. They'll never get him. He stole that one on Framber Valdez.
Yeah, he took off. First movement, I love it. He took off on the first movement of Valdez. Soon as he flinched, started going up, Birdie took off and stole that base easily.
So now a man in scoring position with one away. No score, third inning. Let's see if Ian Happ can drive in the game's first tally. The pitch. Swing and a foul back.
And with that stolen base, Cubs stolen bases are powered by Atturo Tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Atturo.com. The other thing about that Birdie at bat, Pat, first pitch fastball swinging.
Aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Now the 1-1 from Valdez. And Happ hits a ground ball to second, scooped up by Altuve, over to first in time. That's out number 2 on the play. Birdie goes to third, and the batter now is Kyle Tucker.
And we're coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth. Proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs.
Tucker stepping in. Again, just not a lot of familiarity between Cub batters and Framber Valdez. He made one start on the 15th of May 2 seasons ago right here in Houston. He worked only 4 innings. Now the pitch to Kyle is low and outside. He had no decision in that game, but 4 innings, you might have had 2 at-bats.
Yeah.
Maybe only 1 if you were a Cub hitter.
He's had a couple clunkers this season, and when you look at those, there were a lot of hits given up. And that, to me, is him not having command of his pitches and throwing a lot of pitches in the middle of the plate. He's got command today.
Now the 1-0 to Tucker. Bouncer towards short. Glove by Dubon, and throws to first in time. Cubs get a single, but do not score. Middle of inning number 3. 0-0 game on the score.
Well, we certainly served it up over the plate. This is a burger fit for a home run king, the 99 burger in honor of Aaron Judge. They sell a bazillion of these at Yankee Stadium. It looks pretty good. I feel like we passed the test. What about you?
I think so.
Light up the scoreboard every time. Hefty Trash Bags, the official trash bags of the Chicago Cubs. Hefty, ultra-strong trash bags resist rips, tears, and leaks. Strength that's anything but ordinary.
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Isak Paredes is on deck. Who's on Deck is brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. Bottom three, Cubs and Astros are scoreless. We're indoors here in Houston, 73 degrees. Time and temperature sponsored by Circa Sports Illinois. Bet like the pros and download the Circa Sports app today. Pat?
Isak Paredes, the batter. He'll take a strike and now takes the next pitch inside. 1-1. 0-0 game. Bottom of inning number 3. Paredes, Myers, and Altuve against Taillon. A deep drive foul down the left field line. Out of play. A lot of Cubby blue, Cub fans wearing blue shirts down that left field line area. A lot of orange Astro fans as well. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball just outside. Taillon at 52 pitches after 2+ innings. And the 2-2. Drilled foul deep to left field. St. Louis has beaten Cleveland, so the Cardinals swept a 3-game series against the Guardians. Both of those teams will be at Wrigley Field in the upcoming week. There's a roller foul past third. 7-0 St. Louis, the final today. Cleveland in on Tuesday night for 3. St. Louis in on Friday afternoon to Wrigley for 3. Go to Cubs.com for ticket info. Another foul drive. He's pulled about 4 hard balls foul to left, Ron, in a row.
This guy would be one heck of a cricket player. Right? If they turn the field a little bit, oh man.
Here comes the windup and the 2-2. Just outside. See, I'm not that familiar with cricket, but you apparently are. Have you ever played any game?
No, not at all. But I know you can hit the ball in any direction, basically, and that's what Paredes does. He's not overly concerned about keeping it fair.
He keeps this one fair. It's a pop-up right side, easy play for Turner, and the first baseman makes the catch. One away before Myers bats. 10 for ID. This is The Score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs Talk with Rahimi and Harris, 10 a.m. to 2 on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network, WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Jake Myers will take down low.
One thing I just don't understand. So here since Pena has been out for yesterday's ball game and today's, and the lineup change for Houston, Paredes, big, strong, very slow player hitting leadoff. Myers hitting 300, over 300, almost 310. Very fast center fielder hitting second instead of first. I just don't understand that.
Here comes the 2-0 to Jake Myers. Swing and a miss, a high fastball.
You get Paredes on, and then he's kind of stuck. Myers is, if he's on, behind Paredes, and you kind of lose the speed of Myers. Does that make sense to you?
It does. It does. Paredes, though, having a pretty good series. 5 for 10 as the leadoff batter. Here's a swing and a foul back out of play. Maybe that's factoring into it.
Yeah, he hit leadoff yesterday and today. He did not hit leadoff in game 1 of the series. But yeah, to me, it seems like you're taking the speed element then and shutting it down in the top of your lineup.
Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 3. 3-2 on Jake Myers. So the Cardinals winning at this moment. The Cardinals 3 games behind the Cubs. Milwaukee 2 behind. Bouncer to short, glove by Swanson. Sets the feet, makes a low throw, dug out. No, not dug out by Turner. It rolls away from Justin. And safe at first is Myers. That might be an error on the throw by Dansby Swanson, a low throw.
Yeah, it's going to be an error on Dansby. He comes up, he backhands this ball, and then uncorks a very strong throw, but low. And Turner tries a sweep pick of this ball and doesn't come up with it, hits him in the tip of the glove, and does not make the play.
It is E6. And the batter, Jose Altuve. Myers to be held by Justin Turner. And Taillon's pitch to Altuve is in there for a strike. Houston had their first 2-man reach in the first. And Taillon struck out Altuve for one of his biggest outs so far today. Here's the 0-1. Fastball just missed outside.
Pretty good pitch. That one had a little cutting action to it right on the outside corner and didn't get the call.
Could have been called.
Yeah, borderline.
The set for the 1-1. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Altuve chasing a pitch up near his shoulders.
Altuve saw hanging breaking ball, and this is what he's great at. You make a mistake, and even if it's high, he's looking to hit it and hook it into those boxes and left. That pitch is about shoulder high.
The runner goes. The pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. It'll be a stolen base for Myers. The ball in the dirt outside. Altuve swung at a very bad ball, but he's out on strikes. And Kelly, the catcher, could not glove the pitch cleanly. So it's an uncontested stolen base for Myers.
Now Myers got a good jump. He was going to steal that base no matter what.
2 outs, a man at second. Cam Smith, the batter. He bounces one foul toward third. Two outs, bottom of inning number 3. 0-0 game. Smith fly to the warning track and right his first time. And the 0-1. Called strike 2. This third inning and this slow down in the action brought to you by Iservay. What's on your mind, Ron, on this 0-2 pitch?
I'm slowing down while I'm thinking of this.
Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Taillon gets the strikeout. This third inning brought to you by Iservay. We go to inning number 4. It's a 0-0 game. Cubs and Astros on the score and the.
Well, this is the most famous jersey in baseball, right? The Yankee pinstripes, the interlocking NY, and the Midnight Navy. I was a Yankee fan growing up my whole life, die hard, and became a free agent after 7 years with the Rockies, and I wanted to be a Yankee so bad. Putting this jersey on for a headshot for the first time, it felt different than any other shirt I'd ever put on in my career.
Savings. More than just savings. Get more with Geico.
Bet365 is now live in Illinois. Download the Bet365 app. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is sponsored by Club Citgo. Download the Club Citgo app now and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. You heard Pat and Ron talking about this earlier. The Cardinals, a 7-0 drubbing of the Guardians. Nolan Gorman and Victor Scott II both going deep for St. Louis in that game. Pirates all over the Mets, 7-1. They're in the bottom half of the fifth inning. O'Neill Cruz and Brian Reynolds among those going deep for Pittsburgh.
Seiya Suzuki, Zach, will lead off this fourth inning for the Cubs and take a strike from Framber Valdez.
The Orioles lead the race 3-0 after 5 innings of play. Blue Jays 5, Red Sox 2. They're in the bottom of the fifth.
And the next offering is outside, 1-1.
Addison Barger and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going back-to-back for Toronto. Phillies lead the Braves 2-1. They're in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Suzuki lined out to right his first time. He pulls the ground ball foul toward third.
Aaron Judge has hit his 29th home run, a 2-run shot. Yankees on top of the A's 7-1 now, bottom of the fifth inning in New York. Padres strike first, a 1-0 lead over the Reds. They're in the top of the sixth inning. The Dodgers and Royals about to get started. Giants and White Sox tied at 1. They're in the bottom of the third inning.
Suzuki waiting for Framber Valdez, and the 1-2 pitch from the stocky left-hander. Inside, it's 2-2.
Brewers and Rockies scoreless, top of the fourth in Milwaukee. Mariners and Rangers scoreless in the last of the second. Pat?
All right, Zach, thank you for the updates. Here a 0-0 game. Swing and a miss. A late swing by Suzuki on a good fastball. And that's out number 1. Strikeout number 5 for Framber Valdez. He looks sharp today.
Yeah, he does. He's got that last pitch. That's that two-seam fastball. He very seldom throws a four-seam fastball. That two-seamer, it starts out inner half and ends up outer third. Very good pitch at the knees.
Dansby Swanson takes outside. Valdez with one away in the fourth inning run, only at 41 pitches for the day. So he's been economical. Swanson fly to the warning track in deep center his first time. Dansby swings at a slow curve and misses 1-1.
Well, I think it goes right back to what we were talking about last inning. He throws so many pitches that come out of his hand and get about halfway to home plate. And as the hitter, you're thinking this is not only a strike, but a hittable strike, and then the ball just darts out of the zone.
The strong left-hander brings it again. Dansby takes outside. 2-1.
And this fourth inning is sponsored by Wintrust, home of the exclusive Cubs debit card. Member FDIC, EHL lender.
And the 2-1 from Valdez. Off-speed ball 3 inside. What are you looking at on 3-1?
I would look for the two-seam fastball. I would anticipate him throwing it inner half to run to the outer half of the plate. So I don't think you're going to get something you're going to be able to hook to those Crawford boxes. You're probably better off looking to hit this ball to right center.
Ball 4, the pitch outside. Cubs get a man on with one away in the fourth inning. 0-0 game, and the batter Pete Crow Armstrong.
First walk of the ball game for Valdez. Good at bat by Swanson. And the meat of the order is presented by Chef IQ Sense. Never under or overcook your food again. Purchase now at chefiq.com.
Crow Armstrong struck out his first time, takes high. I could see where a guy like Valdez would be a pitcher. You'd need to see him at least 4 or 5 at-bats before you had a fairly good idea of what he's doing.
Yep.
Now the 1-0. Lefty against lefty. Big chopper to first, fielded by Walker, unassisted play. Swanson goes to second on the ground out. 3 unassisted, 2 down, and the batter Carson Kelly.
Well, and I think going back to what you're saying, there's a few things. You got to pick the pitches that you think you're going to be able to do damage on against this guy, because you can't cover everything. You can't cover the hard two-seam fastball, a changeup, and his curveball. and think he can go up there and just cover all three, especially with the command that he has.
Cubs need a clutch hit right now from Carson Kelly. With Swanson at second and 2 down. Carson takes low for a ball. Walks to Cubs batter, sponsored by It'sNotAGameIllinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. Kelly a strikeout victim his first time. Valdez delivers. Fastball strike. He was actually looking at second as he started his motion home that time.
Valdez was just, when he took off after pitch one and walked behind the mound, looking at where the first pitch was, I'm sure he's wondering how it didn't get called a strike.
Now the 1-1. Kelly swings and misses. A pitch that came in and dipped at the last second. Valdez wants a brand new ball. And he gets one. Swanson at second. Cubs trying to get on the board here in the 4th inning. 0-0 game. And the 1-2 from Valdez to Carson Kelly. Here it comes. Carson swings and misses. Strike 3. Cubs don't score, leave one. Middle of inning number 4. 0-0 game. This is The Score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio.
Opportunity. Loads of opportunity. Come see everything that New Lenox has to offer. Go to newlenox.net today and start the adventure. New Lenox, it's extraordinary.
League Leaders is sponsored by American Sail. Bring the fun home. Aaron Judge leads the majors in batting average, hitting .355. The Mariners' Cal Raleigh is the home run leader with 32. And Seiya Suzuki is tied with Cal Raleigh for the RBI lead in the majors, both with 69 runs batted in. Pat?
All right, Zach, thank you for those updates as we go to the bottom of inning number 4. 0-0 game. Jamison Tyone working on Yiner Diaz. First pitch strike. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss. He fooled him badly on a sharp breaking ball that actually landed in the dust.
Moves past Darryl Kyle, who has 973 career strikeouts as an Astro.
And now the strike 2 pitch from the Cub right-hander. Fouled away. I don't think he wanted that curve in that spot, but he got away with it. Tyone, big, strong right-hander, gets the sign from the catcher Kelly, and now the 0-2. Fastball up high.
Yeah, J-Mo's big man. When he gets working downhill with that fastball, and he can throw it at the top of the zone and then shoots it down at the knees, he's tough to hit.
Here's a fly ball, right center, playable for either Tucker or Crow Armstrong. It'll be the former. Tucker making the catch, routine play, and that's out number 1. First out in the inning brought to you by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. No bats are really booming in this game. Nothing game. Cubs have 2 hits. The Astros have 3. The only extra base hit was a first inning double by Kyle Tucker. And here's Christian Walker swinging, or actually checking a swing and taking ball 1.
Kind of thought going into this ball game, with these two guys, Taillon pitching in his hometown and Valdez, both guys have had good years this year, that this might be one of those games where the 2 starting pitchers could do a pretty good job here in this first half of the ball game.
So far, that certainly is the case. Here's the 2-0. Fouled over our heads and back out of play.
I saw you there. That was a Hall of Fame move. You were ready.
Two balls and a strike on Christian Walker. Fastball bullseye on the outside edge. What's on your mind on 2-2?
I'd like to see him throw that hook now. After painting the outside corner, now you start that ball outer third and throw that slider away and see if you can get a little chase on 2-2. Walker has had a struggle this season. I thought he was a good acquisition for this Astros ball club, but he's hitting .215.
10 home runs. He hits a fly ball to right. It's going to be an easy play for Tucker, and that's out number 2.
Taillon, perfect pitch. That slider away. Gets the routine fly ball.
2 gone, nobody on, nothing game. Cooper Hummel, the batter. You always think a ball game like this might be decided on one good swing by somebody. And the pitch on the way to Hummel is outside. Taillon coming back to Hummel. Drops a breaking ball in for a called strike. 1-1.
Can I make my guess for the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game?
I thought you'd never ask.
All right. I'm going to go 36,000 right on the dot.
Put a lot of time into that, did you, Zach? Here's a pitch down low in the count 2-1.
Yeah, I just finished counting moments ago.
Did you?
He was waiting for a text to see what the attendance was.
Oh, is that the way that works? Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss now. 2-2. I'm not part of that text thread yet.
Makes 2 of us, yeah. Me neither.
Now the 2-2, low and inside, 3-2.
Good fastball, just missed the inside corner.
Nothing game. Cubs have 2 hits. Astros have 3. Bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the 3-2 windup by Taillon and the delivery. Low and inside. Didn't miss by much. How do you take that pitch? Low and inside, just off the knees and off the inside corner.
Yeah, it's a great take. It's a great pitch, too. That's the pitcher's pitch. And just missed down.
Mauricio Dubon, the batter.
I think you got to watch for Hummel to take off from first base.
It's being held by Justin Turner, and Taillon thinking along the lines you are run, chases the runner back.
Dubon handles the bat pretty well. I'm a fast runner. I would think J-Mo a little slow to the plate. He's not very quick to the plate. I would think they would try to send him.
Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Dubon. Dubon had a base hit his first time.
J-Mo's 6'5", 6'6". So Taillon, for the guys that are that tall, it just takes a little while to get themselves through their delivery.
Here's a bunt attempt, foul toward third. Now with 2 out and a guy on base, You're the number 8 hitter, and you're trying to bunt for a base hit. I didn't expect that.
No, I don't think the Astros bench would want him doing that. Taillon did slide step on that last pitch to try to get himself quicker to home plate with Hummel at first, but the bunt, I just don't understand it.
And now the 0-2 from Taillon. Dubon takes high, plus the guy on deck is hitting 118.
Yeah,
That's another factor.
Yeah, to me, it's one of those things you got to try to do some damage and possibly drive in a run.
Short lead by Hummel, being held by Turner. Taillon working on Dubon. Here's a high fly ball, left field and deep, but it is playable for Ian Happ. He's got it, and that ends the inning. Zach Zaidman joins Ron Coomer in a moment. We've played 4. We got a good one going. 0-0 game. Cubs and Astros on the Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Data rates may apply. Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, a leader in comprehensive orthopedic care. Visit ibji.com for locations.
Take Cubs baseball with you wherever you go in the Chicagoland area with the Odyssey app. Download the app and search 670 The Score. Getting set for the top half of the 5th inning here in Houston. The rubber match between the Cubs and Astros. They're still scoreless. Nico Hoerner will lead things off for the Cubs against left-hander Framber Valdez. Hoerner to be followed by Justin Turner and John Birdie. Nico grounded out to third in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1. Playing in at third, Guillorme, just on the edge of the infield grass. Valdez works on the extreme third base side of the rubber. High leg kick and pitch. And Hoerner looks at a strike, a breaking ball that spins into the zone. 0-1. Nico has hit 3 home runs on this road trip, including in each of the first 2 games of this series. The pitch is foul back off the screen. 0-2.
Yeah, Nico's been locked in this road trip. You could see it in St. Louis from day one. He was right on time with just about everything. That last pitch, he was right on time and fouled it straight back. Yesterday, he hit a home run. He almost hit 2. He hit one a mile in the air to left on a breaking ball that he just got under enough to keep it in the park.
Hoerner waits for the 0-2 delivery. Valdez a long set. Now he works his motion. Here's the pitch. That's low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Missed with a breaking ball. Hoerner talked after yesterday's ball game. His home run last night broke a 2-2 tie, and the Cubs never looked back, winning 12-3. As Valdez kicks and delivers the 1-2. Nico grounds one to third. Charging, fielding on a belt-high hop, Guillorme running through to first in time to get Hoerner 1 away. But Nico was talking about how, and he's cognizant of it, if you want to be an impact player in today's game, you have to have a power element to your game. And up until this road trip, the average really high. Drives in runs, he steals bases, but now he's added the home run. 3 of them this season. Justin Turner at the plate. The pitch is low for ball 1. John Birdie on deck for the Cubs. Scoreless game here in the top of the 5th. Turner struck out swinging in the 3rd. He's 0 for 1. Lefty-righty matchup. And the pitch. A ground ball up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. So Turner gets on base with 1 down here in the 5th. That'll bring up John Birdie.
Now Turner, as Pat mentioned early in the ball game, Turner has done very well against Valdez. He was 5 for 11 coming into the game, and now 6 for 12. So He hits a bullet right back where it came from.
Birdie singled his first time up. Right-handed batter, upright stance, a little bend at the knees. Valdez deals, and Birdie looks at a strike. Fastball at the top of the zone. 0-1. Middle infielders at double play depth. Walker holding on, Turner at first. Throw to first by Valdez, and Turner dives back in safely.
I think that was Valdez going, this guy just keeps getting hits off. I'm throwing over. Make him dive back. Because Turner's not going anywhere.
But now the uniform is dirty.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. Birdie taps it foul off to the left.
Because you know Valdez knows that he's 6 for 12. He's hitting 500 off him. Absolutely they know. And so does Turner.
Yeah, so I don't think Turner minds that he had to dive back
No,
in.
if they did that and I dove back in and I'd look back at the mound and I'd smile like, I know what you're doing. Yeah, sorry.
Birdie waits for the 0-2. A long set by Valdez. He looks at Turner at first, and now the pitch. And that one is a breaking ball high and outside. 1-2.
Good take by Birdie. That was a breaking ball. I thought they were going to get the call, but it was definitely off the plate away by about full baseball.
So 1-2 the count. 1-on-1 out here in the top of the fifth. Cubs and Astros scoreless. Valdez deals. Birdie looks at a pitch low. 2-2. Another breaking ball.
The last pitch, the pitch before last, was an easier take because it starts out so far off the plate. That last one's a very good take. That ball down and in. That one had some bite to it, and Birdie didn't offer.
The 2-2. Birdie chops it to third, fielded by Guillorme to second for one. Altuve to first, not in time as Birdie beats it out. But the lead man, Turner, retired on the 5-4 fielder's choice, 2 away.
Guillorme does a pretty good job of getting this ball in 2 hops. It's a chopper, and it's not an easy play. He fields this ball, and then I thought he was going to throw to first, but takes the tougher play and throws to second base to Altuve. And they get Turner, so a nice play to get the lead runner.
So Birdie being held on at first by Christian Walker. He already has a stolen base in this game. Ian Happ at the plate. Valdez delivers. Ground ball. Back of third, fielded by Guillorme. His throw to first is in time to get a hustling Happ for out number 3. Birdie stranded on the bases. Middle 5, still scoreless. Cubs and Astros on the score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
The newfangled idea of the time was night games, and teams thought that the shiny material of satin would reflect the stadium lights better. But satin comes with all kinds of issues. Despite all its drawbacks, this shiny material really does create a show-stopping jersey.
The name of the business is Legacy Catering. We all were talking about how Mom taught us all how to cook. She was a cook at the public school system for ages. So we all started cooking with her, so we decided, to do the business, so we went to figure out what we're going to call it. So we said, let's cook in honor of, our mother. So that's when Legacy came in. And just remember that Legacy Catering is about people, and this is what barbecuing is all about, and this is why we love it.
Important your home is. That's why they're rated the #1 brand of siding in North America. James Hardie is proud to sponsor the Cubs. James Hardie Building Products, siding with the Cubs.
Alongside Ron Coomer, Zach Zaidman with you. Last of the the 5th here in Houston. Rubber match. Cubs and Astros are scoreless. Luis Guillorme at the plate. Left-handed batter against the right-hander Jameson Taillon, who deals, and Guillorme lines one in a right field for a base hit. Tucker retrieves the ball, angling toward the line, and gets it back into the infield. On a leadoff single for the number 9 hitter, Luis Guillorme, here in inning number 5.
A little backdoor hook. Taillon wants this ball off, on the outside corner, and it ends up inner third, and Guillorme hammered that ball in the right.
We are coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs. Isaac Paredes at the plate, right-handed hitter. The pitch, outside, ball 1.
Wednesday, July 2nd is Camp Cubs Night at Ballpark. To the spirit of the summer camp with fun pregame activities at Gallagher Way. Fans purchase tickets through Cubs.com/specials will receive a limited edition Cubs Camp T-shirt.
That sounds cool. It's no ordinary summer camp, that's for sure.
No, I would agree to that. Right out in front of the ballpark in Gallagher Way. Very fun.
Taillon deals, and Paredes looks at a strike on the outside edge, a cutter. 2-1.
I wonder how many of those kids are going to try to sneak into Wrigley Field and get on a field. I'd be one. They'd had to find me. I promise you that. My people would be going to sleep, and I'd be trying to find my way into the friendly confines. I'd have been standing out there at third base trying to play third all by myself.
The 2-1. Pulled on the ground, foul by Paredes.
So for all you folks out there that are going to be working security for the camp, there's going to be a couple Ron Coomers in that group that are going to try to sneak into the yard. I'm sure of that.
Don't give people ideas, Coom.
Believe me, they don't need any ideas. I'm sure them kids are going to do that.
2-2 the count.
They're Chicagoans. Of course they are.
Good point.
You're from New York. You know.
I know. Here's the pitch. That's low. So Paredes has worked a full count. And there's a lot to do at Gallagher Way.
Oh, yeah.
All those statues.
It'll be great. They're going to have all kinds of games, all kinds of stuff going on out there, as they usually do. It's just it's an incredible place for young people to go to before and after and during the ball game.
Paredes fouls it away out of play off to the left.
It always makes me laugh. Your family comes out to the game, and you spend a lot of money on tickets and getting yourself we're going to the ball game, and then you see the games and playing catch out, on Gallagher Way right in the middle of the ball game.
Paredes smokes one deep down the left field line, but hooking way foul out of play. It hit the facade of the upper deck.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting a baseball when they first came to the ballpark today and saw where their seats were.
3-2 the count. Paredes waits. Taillon deals. Guillorme goes, and this one's fouled back out of play. So they'll do it again. This is Paredes' third time up here in this ball game, and every plate appearance has been quite a battle with Taillon here today.
Yeah, Taillon's next pitch is going to be pitch number 100, and it's basically because of Paredes.
Now this one is pulled deep down the left field line and hooking way foul out of play. This one in the upper deck again. Cubs have activity in their bullpen. Veteran right-hander Ryan Brazier warming up. Guillorme, big lead off of first, being held on by Turner. Taillon works on the first base side of the rubber, puts the ball in the glove, sets chest high, and works the 3-2. And a high fly ball hit to right center field. It's playable for Tucker, who angles over and makes the catch. One away. First out, brought to you by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. And yeah, you heard right. Paredes hit a fly ball the other way.
Yeah. It's a miracle.
He's a notorious pull hitter.
Yeah. All opponents' pitching changes are sponsored by Sloan, official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs and leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions. Visit Sloan.com. And Tommy Hotovy taking slow walk to the mound just to give Taillon a little breather. I know he wants to give J-Mo a chance to get through this inning. And if he does and the Cubs score in the 6th, he's got a chance to get him a W, but he is at 100 pitches in the ballgame. Actually 101.
Yeah, and Ryan Brazier continues to warm up in the Cubs bullpen. 1 on, 1 out for the Astros here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Guillorme at first. He singled to lead off the frame. Jake Myers now at the plate, the Astros' number 2 hitter. He's reached base twice here today, a single in the 1st, and then reached base on an error by Dansby Swanson in the 3rd. Righty-righty matchup. And the pitch. Called strike, inside corner, fastball from Tyone, about belt high.
Myers hit the ball on the ground twice. Hit a ball to Dansby in his last at bat. You'd love to see another one of those.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. And a cutter off the outside. 0-2. Cubs have the middle infielders at double play depth. Myers with good speed. A long set. Now the 0-2. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Myers. On Sunday, July 6th, the Cubs take on the Cardinals at 1:20 in the afternoon. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans. I should say that's been moved to a night game. The pitch. And a high fly ball hit to deep right. Tucker going back at the track. Has a play. Makes the catch. Backing up. 2 away. Retreating back to first. Guillorme. So, yes, Sunday, July 6th, night game against the Cardinals. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans, 21 and older, will receive a Cubs Hawaiian shirt presented by Jim Beam. Be here for it. Purchase tickets at Cubs.com/tickets. So 2 down, Guillorme at first. The batter now, Jose Altuve, right-handed hitter against the right-hander Tyone. Here's the pitch. Check swing, and a pitch up high on appeal. No swing, says Alfonso Marquez at first. So 1-0 the count on Altuve.
I would think this is probably going to be the last hitter for Jameson Tyone. He's at 106 pitches. He's in the game because he's punched out Altuve twice.
And a high fly ball deep left. Happ goes back near the wall, looks up, and it's in the Crawford boxes. A 2-run home run. Astros strike first on the deep shot by Jose Altuve. 2-0 Houston here in the 5th.
We talked about it. This guy knows how to hit in this ballpark. This ball hit right down the left field line. It's a high breaking ball that's up above the zone. And he goes out and he hooks this ball, and he's able to keep it fair, and it just barely lands. You know, probably second row of those Crawford boxes, third row maybe. And that ball couldn't go more than 315, 320 feet.
And like you said, that'll be all for Jameson Tyone. Craig Counsell is going to make a pitching change. Right-hander Ryan Brazier will come in. Pitching changes by the Cubs, sponsored by James Hardy Building Products, siding with the Cubs. 2 away.
The newfangled idea of the time was night games, and teams thought that the shiny material of satin would reflect the stadium lights better. But satin comes with all kinds of issues. Despite all its drawbacks, this shiny material really does create a show-stopping jersey.
Boomer is the dog. Then he looked good. I just followed his picture all the way. And there he is. Boomer's dad.
That was kind of a change from the everyday thing that we normally do as far as baseball cards are concerned.
Hey, I have a Labrador. Where's my card?
You know, a little bit different, and it turned out to be a fun experience.
It was just when the camera crew tried to leave that there was a problem. You can't leave.
The new man on the mound for the Cubs, veteran right-hander Ryan Brazier. This is his 14th game of the year. He's got a 1.46 ERA. The first pitch to Cam Smith. It's a called strike, 0-1. Smith is 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Brazier deals, and Smith swings and misses. In the hole, 0-2. Smith has flied out and struck out. Brazier, the right-hander, works on the first base side of the rubber. Sets at the belt. He kicks and fires. Low. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I was thinking about that home run by Altuve. Ian goes back. He thinks he's got this ball, and he gets right up to the wall, and then you see him kind of stop, and you're like, oh, no. And the ball just keeps carrying another 10 feet and goes into the stands.
Smith swings and misses at a slider, strike 3, and that ends the 5th, but not before the Astros take the lead on the 2-run shot by Jose Altuve. 2-0 Houston after 5 on the score in the Southwest.
Sign up for Rapid Rewards today and redeem your points on any seat, any day, anytime. Only at Southwest. All Rapid Rewards rules and regulations apply and can be found at southwest.com/RR terms.
James Hardie Building Products knows how important your home is. That's why they're rated the #1 brand of siding in North America. James Hardie is proud to sponsor the Cubs. James Hardie Building Products, siding with the Cubs.
Kyle Tucker's on deck for the Cubs. Who's on Deck is brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. Pat?
All right, Zach, let's see if the Cubs can answer back. Houston scoring twice on the home run by Jose Altuve in that 5th inning. Kyle Tucker has one of the 3 hits against Framber Valdez. A first-inning double. That's the only extra base knock for the Cubs today. And Tucker takes low and outside, ball 1. Valdez still with some gas in the tank. 64 pitches for the day. He's had very good command. Mixing his speeds very effectively. Here's a swing and a chopper foul.
He's pitched ahead in just about every at-bat against the Cubs.
Some guys, you watch them run, you just get the feeling they know exactly what they're doing.
Yep, he fits the bill of that statement exactly today.
Here's the 1-1. A check swing ground ball foul up the first base line. Kyle tried to hold up on an off-speed pitch, couldn't do it. Now it's 1-2. Final game of the series, each team with a win. 2-0 Astros, 6th inning. Playing indoors here in Houston at Daikin Park. And now the 1-2. Tucker rolls it foul toward the first base dugout area. Cubs are off tomorrow. The Cleveland Guardians are in on Tuesday night to start a 3-game series. 3 straight night games against Cleveland, all beginning at 7:05. Cubs have not named any starters for that series yet. Here's the 1-2 and a dribbler first base line fielded by Valdez. Lobs it to first just in time to get a hustling Tucker. And that's out number 1. The play almost started in slow motion.
It's about as casual as you're going to see an out made in professional baseball, with him going over to the line, grabbing it, and just kind of lobbing it over. Kind of felt like we were at a city park and he was playing with that one.
Here is Seiya Suzuki. I believe Zach has some information about the Cubs starter on Tuesday night.
Matthew Boyd will get the ball on Tuesday.
Swinging a chopper foul by Seiya.
Fellow left-hander Shota Imanaga will throw for the Cubs on Wednesday, and Cade Horton will get the ball Thursday against the Guardians.
Very good, Zach. Thank you. And the 0-1 in there for a call strike. Cubs able to split the 4 in St. Louis after losing the first 2. They lost the opener here on Friday night. Here's the ground ball sharply hit, but right to the first baseman Walker, and he'll make the play unassisted. Out number 2.
Good play by Walker. This ball's hit sharply on 2 hops, but right at him. Yeah, and he stays right in front of this ball and just kind of smothers it and gets the out.
Two down, nobody on for Dansby Swanson. Dansby flied to the warning track in center and had a base on balls. And he'll take an off-speed pitch in for a strike.
Dansby didn't like that last call. I don't blame him. Those breaking balls that start out away and come back to the strike zone never did get to home plate.
Valdez has won 4 games in June without a loss. Wins over the Pirates, White Sox, Athletics, and Phillies. He has won 7 straight decisions. And now the next pitch way outside. Hard to imagine. This guy actually had a record of 1-4 on May the 2nd. So
right.
he did get off to something of a slow start, but he's in quite a groove right now.
He's going to have a pitch clock by now. He got on the mound and just threw. Okay.
Low and outside, 3-1 on Dansby. Let's see if he gets something to hammer here. He might. You've got Crow Armstrong on deck. Valdez long. That's some of the longest hair you'll ever see on a big league ball player.
He's got the long dreadlocks going down his back.
And now the 3-1. That's strike 2 called. Swanson couldn't believe the call. Dansby tossed the bat aside. And Dansby still discussing the call with Lance Barrett.
Well, Dansby thought this pitch was down. Very borderline pitch down, but did catch the strike zone a little bit.
3-2 pitch, that's ball 4. So now the tying run is up. Pete Crow Armstrong. Now, Ron, you were a middle of the order hitter. I know it's not easy to hit home runs in big league ball, but there comes a time in games when your team really needs one.
I'd be ready to hit if I were Pete. I would be ready for the first fastball he threw in the middle of the plate. And if it's this pitch, I'd be ready to hit it.
First pitch from Valdez. Outside for a ball. 1-0 on Pete. He has struck out and grounded out.
And what's on tap here in this 6th inning? Sponsored by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. How about one in flight here?
Check swing on a ball side in the dirt. Now it's 2-0, Ron.
Yeah. Ahead in the count 2-0, and now you got to pick what you want to cover. Do you want to cover the breaking ball, or do you want to cover the fastball?
Walks to Cub batter, sponsored by It'sNotAGameIllinois.com. The pitch. Bouncing ball foul past first. That's NotAGameIllinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. Couple of all-stars potentially facing each other here. Actually, a potential Cy Young Award winner on the mound and a potential MVP at the plate. That's how good Pete Crow Armstrong has been this first half. Now the 2-1. Lefty to lefty. Swinging a bouncing ball to first. Backhanded by Walker. Takes it to the bag in time. Cubs don't score. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Houston 2, Cubs nothing on the score, and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey, Chicago.
I want to ask you about food. What is something that you have to eat to be the judge?
Oh, Aaron Judge! Send him to Monument Park now!
We got some good chefs in New York. They've been cooking up some nice chopped cheeses, and that kind of, it gets you, I don't know if I should tell the kids that they should be eating chopped cheese before a game.
Before the game, probably steak. That's usually what I go to.
A little steak, no vegetables.
No vegetables?
No vegetables.
No, is it straight protein?
Yeah.
We wanted to introduce something new. And then working in some of our past and what the past can look like in the future. I think our players absolutely love it, and our fans, we think they'll learn to love it, especially if you can win in it. That kind of solves everything.
Trash bags, official trash bags of the Chicago Cubs. Hefty, ultra-strong trash bags resist rips, tears, and leaks. Strength that's anything but ordinary.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Before the bottom of the 6th inning gets underway, 10 seconds for ID. This is The Score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Talk Cubs with us on Spiegel and Holmes, 2 to 6 afternoons on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network, WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Yainer Diaz hits a big bouncer over the mound, barehanding it on the run. Dansby Swanson fires to first in time. Beautiful play by Dansby. Never did touch the ball with his glove, which is an unusual thing for a shortstop to do.
Yeah, once that ball takes a second hop, the only chance he's got is to barehand it, and he barehands it and makes a good, strong throw. Great play by Dansby at short.
Christian Walker takes low and away. The first out brought to you by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. We're going to take a look at some baseball history on this Sunday afternoon. Here's a pitch high to Walker. This date in baseball history brought to you by VillageofBedfordPark.com. Now's the time to make history for your business in Bedford Park. This was Billy Williams Day at Wrigley Field, 1969. One of our all-time favorite people in the game, Billy Williams. And he did not disappoint. There was a Wrigley crowd of 41,000 plus. Billy responded with 5 hits as the Cubs swept the Cardinals in a doubleheader 3-1 and 12-1.
Wow.
And not only that, he passed Stan Musial. Here's a swing and a miss by Christian Walker. Billy passed Stan Musial as the National League's all-time Iron Man by playing in consecutive games numbers 895 and 896. Pretty big day for Billy. Yeah, that was a great year for the Cubs, 1969. Christian Walker swings and misses, strike 3, and that's out number 2. Cubs trail 2-0, and the batter now is Cooper Hummel.
Sweet swinging Billy Williams.
Still comes to Wrigley on a very regular basis.
Yeah, he was their last homestand.
Cooper Hummel takes outside. Whenever you tell him he looks good, and if you say, Billy, you look like you might still be able to lash out a few line drives. Here's a ground ball base hit past a backhanded attempt by Turner at first. Justin, the first baseman, went toward the hole, tried to backhand the ball as he made a diving effort. Couldn't quite get leather on it. It's a 2-out single for Cooper Hummel. And I always laugh when Billy responds. He said, I'd probably need a couple of weeks to get ready. But he's not saying I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Here's Dubon taking a curveball inside. Hummel might be running in a spot like this. You got the number 8 hitter up there, 2 down. They lead 2-0.
I thought they were going to run him last time he got on base with 2 outs, and they didn't. And I would definitely think that would be the case, Pat.
Toss over. Brazier thinking along those same lines. Ryan Brazier. A 2-run homer by Jose Altuve in the 5th inning is the difference. Here's a bouncer foul. That came against Jamison Tyone. It was the last pitch Tyone would throw in the game. Still some baseball left today, only in the 6th inning. And this is a park where you can score in a hurry. Breaking ball is high. One small mistake can turn into a home run quite easily and quite quickly in this ballpark.
Yeah, that left field short porch. Anybody that's at home plate can hit a ball into those seats.
2-1 to Dubon is outside. This date in baseball history. Here's another one that kind of gave me a chuckle. Minor league manager by the name of Mal Finchman was managing Boise. He got suspended 1 game. After he was ejected, he came back onto the field disguised as the team's mascot, Humphrey the Hawk. And the umpire said, Mal, I know that's you. Not only are you gone, I'm going to report you to the league office.
Yeah, there you go. Go fly away.
1990, I remember this night. It was a Friday night. 2 no-hitters were thrown in big league ball. Here's a smash on the ground to second base, fielded by Horner. He'll lob to first to end the inning. And that retires the side. But Dave Stewart of the A's pitched a no-hitter against Toronto.
It is a 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth card. It is 8.5 PSA. It's graded higher than the one in the Smithsonian.
This card at one point came with a pack or a stick of chewing gum.
This card actually is almost a century old. It was bought for a penny.
So the fact that just the heritage of a card like this is now coming up almost 90 years later into an auction, it's a pretty special moment.
Time offer won't last forever. Stop by your local Wintrust Community Bank or visit wintrust.com/radio25. APY assumes funds remain on deposit until maturity. Minimum daily balance of 1 cent required to obtain APY. Offer subject to change at any time and without notice. Additional terms and conditions apply. Details at wintrust.com/radiocd. Member FDIC.
You deserve a car that thrills you. And Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and NissanUSA.com today.
Carson Kelly will lead off the 7th inning with Ron Coomer. Pat Hughes at Dyken Park in Houston. Zach Zaidman working alongside. David Obert is our engineer. Let's see if the Cubs can stage a late inning rally. They've been stymied on 3 hits by Framber Valdez today. The strong left-hander delivers, and Kelly swings and misses.
And Valdez now at 83 pitches in the game, so, we're in the 7th here. He can at least pitch total-wise. He can stay in this ball game.
Here's a line drive down the left field line. It's going to be a base hit. It's going to get up against the wall. And Carson Kelly is going to have a lead-off double to throw to second, not in time. There's a good start. One of the few mistakes that Valdez has made today, Ron.
Yeah, no doubt, and that will get the bullpen up for Houston as he hangs this breaking ball. This is right. When the first breaking ball he's thrown, that stayed in the inner half about mid-thigh, but a very good hittable pitch, and Kelly hammered it down into the corner.
Let's see if that leads to a rally. Nico Horner, the batter. Nico will take a strike. Nico has homered in each game in this series.
37,319.
37,000 plus here today. We'll get the exact figure momentarily. Nico hits a foul off to the right, out of play. Trying to see who that is in the bullpen. They're blocked out by the top of the fence. It is a right-hander. 37,319 the attendance today. Nico Horner checks and takes low and inside. 1-2. Valdez 87 pitches for the day. I'm keeping a very close eye on that number, Ron.
Yeah. Abreu now warming up, big right-hander for Houston in the bullpen.
Brian Abreu. Now the 1-2. The lead by Kelly. Cubs trail by 2 runs. Nico takes outside.
Well,
2-2.
Here's you'd like to see Valdez hang that breaking ball inside again to Nico. Nico has been really hot swinging the bat. As you mentioned, he's hit 2 home runs in these first 2 games, but he's been right on time with his swings.
And the 2-2. Line foul down the left field line.
Oh, he got that pitch, too. He got that breaking ball down and in. Yeah, Nico just pulled the trigger a little early and hooked it foul.
I would think he's going to keep it away from Nico after that swing.
I would agree with it.
Now the 2-2. Ground ball fouled. It was an outside pitch, kind of a sinker going away.
Yeah, that's that kind of power changeup that he throws. His fastball is like in the mid-90s, 94, 95. Yeah, and his changeup is 91, so it's really not like a changeup. It's more like a BP fastball. Just takes a little bit off it.
Cubs trail 2-0. The pitch to Horner. Ground ball toward third. It's foul. Foul ball. Missed the base by a couple of feet. Iotame was ranging over. He probably would have gotten leather on it had it stayed fair, but it's a moot point. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Astros. No runs on 4 hits for the Cubs. The lead at second by Carson Kelly. And Nico hits a soft line drive. It is bobbled, and everybody is going to be safe. Altuve came in, made an awkward sliding try. Not a dive, a slide. And he did not catch the ball cleanly. Kelly had to hold at second, thinking the ball would be caught. Horner hustling is going to be credited with a base hit, I would believe.
Error. It's going to be an error on Altuve as of right now. That's a weird play.
Tough error.
Yeah, it is a tough error. That ball was cued right off the end of the bat, so the swing looks like he's pulling the ball, but the ball goes with that side spin towards Altuve. That was, just an absolute cue shot. Very weird play, and the Cubs with 2 men on and nobody out.
I think that's going to be all for Framber Valdez. It is. So let's see how the Cubs fare against the Houston bullpen. Pitching changes are, you hear the ovation for
Xfinity. Moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Seventh inning is sponsored by the new Volvo XC90, designed for life. And we got a new pitcher, partner.
Brian Abreu, and he's been very impressive this year. A 1.72 ERA, 36 innings. He's allowed just 2 homers, 53 strikeouts in those 36 innings, so he has been dominant. Michael Busch to pinch hit. 2 men on, nobody out, and Michael takes a fastball high. Busch pinch hitting for Justin Turner. Undoubtedly, he'll stay in the game defensively and play first. Carson Kelly, the runner at second, Nico Horner at first. And Busch hits a high pop fly on the infield, foul territory, playable for Walker, and he'll make the catch, and that's out number 1. Busch pops out. John Birdie will not bat. I believe Vidal Brujan will come up and hit. So Craig Counsell trying to get some left-handed bats in there. Brujan will take his swings now against Abreu.
Boy, Michael Busch put a good swing on that fastball and hit it a mile in the air. I thought it might hit the roof. It was way up there. And this came straight down. If he squares that ball up, it'd be a different ballgame.
Houston 2, Cubs nothing. 7th inning, 1 away. Brujan hitting 161. Right-handed pitcher against the left-handed batter. The pitch. Brujan swings and misses. Boy, there's a good-sized gap in right center at the moment.
Yeah, he hooks one in that gap. It's a triple and 2-run score. The ball hit by Horner in this inning has been changed, surprisingly, to a single.
Inside for a ball, so take away the error to Altuve and give Nico the infield hit. A ball and a strike on Brujan. Slender left-handed batter waiting. And the 1-1. Outside, ball 2.
One thing you got to remember about this Astros bullpen, they are striking hitters out this season at a clip of 30%. That is the league lead by a lot. They are very good.
Here's a dribbler foul. Now it's 2-2. I thought until 2 strikes, Brujan might try to lay down a bunt here, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that has not been the case.
Guillermo at third base, not an everyday third baseman. That could have been a play.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that's out number 2. And now it's up to Ian Happ. And Ian will turn around and bat left-handed for the first time today.
Now we'll kind of angle fastball inside. Brujan put a pretty good swing on it, fouled it right in the glove of Diaz.
Happ 0 for 3 against Valdez. The pitch by Abreu. Fastball missing, just high. Cubs feel like they need to get something out of this chance here in the 7th inning. Down by 2. They had 2 men on with nobody out. Backdoor bender in for a strike. Myers not all that deep in center. Kind of shading Ian toward left center just a tad. And now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Ian chasing a low inside bender. And this crowd starting to stand and make a lot of noise. And it does get loud in this dome. And the 1-2. Happ swings and misses. Strike 3. Swung and missed at a high fastball. And the Cubs do not score despite a leadoff double by Carson Kelly. In the middle of inning number 7, Astros 2, Cubs nothing. This is the score.
Well, this is the most famous jersey in baseball, right? The Yankee pinstripes, the interlocking NY, and the Midnight Navy. I was a Yankee fan growing up my whole life, diehard, and became a free agent after 7 years with the Rockies, and I wanted to be a Yankee so bad. Putting this jersey on for a headshot for the first time, it felt different than any other shirt I'd ever put on in my career.
Sports, circasports.com.
Fans know a steal when they see one, like tuxedos and suits from Suits 2020 in Niles. Why rent when you can own one for about the same price? Schedule your free fitting at Suits2020.com.
Time now for the out-of-town scoreboard, sponsored by Club Citgo. Download the Club Citgo app now and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. Finals on the board. The Phillies a 2-1 winner over the Braves as Ranger Suarez improves to 7-2. Otto Kemp had an RBI double for the Phils. The Orioles beat the Rays 5-1. Other action, the Pirates a 12-1 drubbing of the Mets. O'Neal Cruz hits a pair of 2-run home runs in that game. The Cardinals a 7-0 victory over the Guardians. Victor Scott II and Nolan Gorman both going deep for St. Louis. Games in progress, a whole bunch of them. Bottom of the 8th inning in Boston. The Blue Jays lead the Red Sox 5-3. Addison Barger and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. go back-to-back. The Yankees leading the A's 10-5, last of the 7th in the Bronx. Aaron Judge with a 2-run home run is 29th. Padres lead the Reds 2-1. They're in the last of the 9th in Cincinnati. Xander Bogaerts, a solo shot for San Diego. Dodgers lead the Royals 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kike Hernandez with a 2-run shot. Giants on top of the White Sox 2-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Patrick Bailey with an RBI double in that one. And the Brewers strike first. They've got a 2-0 lead over the Rockies after 7. Christian Yelich going deep for Milwaukee. Pat?
All right, Zach, here it's 2-0 Houston. The difference, a 5th inning 2-run home run by Jose Altuve. Bottom of the 7th inning now, Ryan Presley, the new man on the mound for the Cubs. Luis Guillorme hits a chopper toward first, slowly hit, fielded by Bush. Shovels to Presley on the bag, out number 1. Bush remaining in the game after pinch hitting at first base.
Brujan also stays in the game at third, Pat.
One down, nobody on, last of the 7th inning. And the pitch down low. Brujan's played a lot of different spots. He's played some outfield. He's played most of the infield spots except first, I believe. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball.
Coming in live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs.
And the 1-1, ripped foul on the ground past third.
How about the hardest working player of the game, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools? The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. How about Jameson Taillon? That first inning, he got out of the first, and he had 33 pitches in the first inning. The final pitch he made in that 5th inning, he gave up a 2-run homer. The only runs he gave up, 315-foot homer to Altuve right down the line. A very nice job by J-Mo to come back after that first inning.
Isaac Paredes fouls it away down the right field line. 1-2 on Isaac. Jake Myers is on deck. Over 37,000 here, slightly less than the 39 plus for the first 2 games of the series. Here's the 1-2. He jammed him with a good fastball, popped up, might be playable for Bush. Nope. Over into the dugout. It's out of play. Bush almost flipped over the railing as he didn't see that padded railing just to the far end of the first base dugout. He's okay. Did you ever flip over the railing and into the stands?
I did, yeah.
Did you get an ovation?
I don't recall that. I was more checking inventory.
Bouncer to short, fielded by Swanson. Over to first in time, 2 down. Paredes bounces out, and here's Jake Myers.
Pitching changes by the Cubs. They're sponsored by James Hardy Building Products, siding with the Cubs.
Yeah, I'm wondering, when you played for the Yankees, and you went over near the stands at Fenway Park.
Oh, yeah.
What was that experience like?
Beep, 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 beep.
Can't really tell us, huh?
I kind of did, but
0-1. I think I get the drift.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of subtle, or not.
Yeah, subtle enough is right. Jake Myers will take high for a ball from Ryan Presley.
It was funny. I played in the '99 All-Star game at Fenway as a Minnesota Twin, and when I went back there, they were the Red Sox fans were great to me, and very appreciative, and very nice because you played in their what they considered their All-Star game.
Ground ball to short. Swanson will throw to first in time. Go ahead, Ron.
Until I put on the pinstripes, then it changed.
You're no longer a cool guy.
No. Then it's more beep, beep, beep.
3 up, 3 down. Good job by Presley. Let's see if the Cubs can rally.
If we don't score here, I might have to switch sports. Panicking won't turn a pop-up into a home run. Just like stressing about tickets won't get us better seats.
What about the unhinged prices? They're ridiculous fees.
That's why I use Game Time. On Game Time, prices actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, even up to 60% off. And with the Game Time guarantee, I know our tickets are legit.
Yes! I did not want to have to get into pickleball.
What time is it?
It's Game Time.
Watermelon in the summer. That's the power of hefty, ultra-strong trash bags with Fabuloso.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
We're gearing up for another season, and you can too at Suits 2020 in Niles. More than just suits, casual wear, sportswear, and more. Suits 2020, the latest fashions at the lowest prices.
Cubs down 2-0 here in the 8th inning in Houston. Tucker takes that first pitch wide for a ball. This 8th inning is sponsored by Cars for Kids. 877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. To donate your car today, Patrick.
Abreu is still pitching as this 8th inning gets underway. Kyle Tucker ruled to have swung. He tried to check, couldn't do it. It's now 1-1. See how we did in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game guesses. 37,319 is the exact figure. Tucker 1 for 3. The pitch to Kyle. Fastball sinks low. Zach Zaidman the closest in our Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game today. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Here comes the 2-1. Tucker swings and misses. 2-2. Please stay tuned for the toast of the game, also presented by Benny's Beverage Depot, coming up in the 9th inning and named by Ron Coomer. The pitch to Tucker, swinging a pop-up, shallow left. Coming in is Hummel. And actually the third baseman, Guillorme, will make the catch in very short left field on the edge of the outfield grass. Tucker out number 1.
Designated hitters tonight, let's say at the plate. They're sponsored by BBQ Authority. Visit BBQ Authority in Lisle.
Abreu always works from the stretch. Seiya takes a strike. Suzuki today, nothing for 3. The pitchers of record are the starters, Framber Valdez and Jamison Tyone. Strike 2 called.
Tough play of the game, sponsored by Loyola Medicine. Loyola Medicine defines tough.
And now the 0-2. Low and away. Please stay tuned for the Verizon Cubs radio postgame show with Zach Zaidman right after the game today. And now the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Pretty good breaking ball there by Abreu. That's nasty slider. Not much you're going to do with that. 88 miles an hour. Catch of the game sponsored by Catch Des Moines. Discover the weekend getaway in Des Moines where only the S's are silent. Find all the fun at CatchDesMoines.com, and that can go with the tough play of the game. How about the barehanded two-hopper that Dansby made the play earlier in the ball game as he's at home plate now?
Great play.
That was an outstanding play, barehanded and threw across the diamond to get the out. But catch and tough play of the game, that fits for both of those.
2 down, nobody on. Top of the 8th inning. Swanson trying to keep the inning alive. Dansby swings and misses at a high fastball. This guy can bring it.
Yeah, that last one had life at the top of the zone at 98 miles an hour.
Josh Hader, their closer, has been perfect this year. Hader has saved all 22 of his save opportunities. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Abreu has set down 6 straight coming in out of the bullpen. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Astros 2, Cubs nothing. This is the score and the Southwest Airlines.
To see all this excitement around what I love to do growing up, it's crazy.
What's your favorite thing about this whole event so far?
The fusion of sports, entertainment, and cars.
That's awesome.
Because to me, cars have always been entertainment, and they're getting their just dessert now.
Here we go. This is a classic road jersey for Boston. This is the first uniform I put on when I came with Boston. When you see those 2 socks together, that's one thing I know I had to do. I had to make sure I had my red socks high, okay? My 2 red socks, because, you know, there's 2 here.
Crush concrete with a Bosch 18-volt Bulldog rotary hammer. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
All reviews in this game are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine. A second opinion is always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine. And guys, a reminder, you can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand, plus stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Pat?
Big right-hander Brad Keller, the new man on the mound for the Cubs. And he'll face Jose Altuve, and Altuve hits a foul back near our booth and out of play. Keller in relief. Pitching changes by the Cubs, sponsored by James Hardy Building Products, siding with the Cubs. Keller comes back, good fastball in on the hands, fouled away, 0-2. Josh Hader was throwing in the bullpen. He has discontinued temporarily.
I would bet he's ready and just needs a few throws before the inning ends.
Now the 0-2 pitch outside to Altuve. Altuve with a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. That is the extent of the scoring in this game. His 13th of the year. Fastball just outside.
That's a pretty good pitch. Top of the zone. Hit that top corner of the strike zone. That could have been strike 3. Didn't get the call.
Now the 2-2 from Keller. Bouncing ball toward the middle to his left. Swanson gloves. Off balance throw to get him. Another beautiful play by Dansby. Ball hit right over the bag at second. The shortstop running at a good clip, reaching down, short hopping the ball on the run, and then making that difficult off-balance throw across your body. Nice play.
We've seen Dansby make some off-balance throws. That last catch, though, is an extremely difficult one, running as hard as you can to your left and getting an in-between hop. Great play by Swanson at short.
Cam Smith will take a strike. Glancing to the ninth inning, the Cubs will have Pete Crow Armstrong to lead off, and then Carson Kelly and Nico Horner against presumably Josh Hader. Fastball high from Keller to Cam Smith. Smith is 0 for 3 today. 2-0 Astros. One away, bottom of the 8th. Check swing, that's going to be a strike. 1-2 on Smith. And now the 1-2 fouled back.
Hung that breaking ball up in the zone. Smith did a big swing, just fouled it back.
Mentioned that Hader is a perfect 22 for 22 in saves. There's two ways to look at it. Yes, he's been invincible this year, but another is he's due for a bad one. Ground ball to third, fielded by Brujan. He'll make the toss across in time, and that's out number 2. 2-0 Astros, 8th inning, and the batter, Yainer Diaz.
Now you're going to get your wish. He's ready in the bullpen. I like the latter. He's due to have a bad one, so this will be a good time for it. Cubs with 5 hits in the ball games, no runs.
And the pitch, line to left, a base hit by Diaz. I just remembered a game 4 or 5 years ago. It might have been during the pandemic. Jason Hayward had a home run in a 9th inning against Josh Hader when he pitched for Milwaukee and Craig Counsell was managing. And then I think somebody else homered against him in that same inning.
Homer, to win the game, right? Yeah, it ended up being a game winner. It was in Milwaukee, right?
In Milwaukee. Yep. And we were broadcasting from Wrigley Field. Here's the fastball in there for a strike. We were glad to be broadcasting anywhere at all during the pandemic. They seem to, I'm thinking about all the bugs that were flying around the booth at that time. They seem to enjoy having company. They seem very lonely. And they hung around and tried to chum up with us, and
they did. I remember Zach was a big fan of that, if I recall correctly.
Well, who wasn't, really?
Right,
Here's the 1-1 pitch by Keller. Bouncing ball to third. Long throw now coming up for Brujan on the hop. The throw gets there in time. Pretty good play. Got the job done. Nice job by Keller. Puts a 0 on the board. We go to the 9th inning. The Cubs need to.
performing a C-section, then cancer removal the same day. Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Dear summer, ready to get your adrenaline pumping? Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Toyota, let's go places.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Pat?
Pitching changes by the opposition. Sponsored by Sloan, the official water efficiency partner of the Cubs and leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions. Visit Sloan.com. Josh Hader, former Brewer, former Padre, now with Houston. Perfect 22 for 22. But, Ron, I'm looking at some of the numbers. Yes, he has an 8-to-1 ratio of strikeouts to walks, but he's given up 5 home runs this year in his 36 innings of work.
Well, and he is 5-1, so the one, he does have a loss.
All right, Pete Crow Armstrong swings away and fouls it away. The Cubs need somebody to get on. Trailing by 2. Pete Crow Armstrong 0 for 10 in this series. That's when you know you're in the big leagues. You're 0 for 10, and then you have to face a guy like Hader. Swing and a miss. High fastball, 0-2.
Hader this season with a 40% strikeout rate. That is very high, second in the league.
Way outside, he's slender. He does not look like a classic power pitcher when you look at him on the mound, but he can bring it. A lot of tattoos on his right arm. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Many times with Hader, there's nothing really fancy about it, just rearing back and firing.
Yeah, this is just gas. 2 fastballs up and in to Pete. Neither one of them in the zone, but, you know, on the inside corner, just elevated up.
9th inning, 1 down. Carson Kelly steps in, and he'll take a strike from Hader. Kelly 1 for 3 today, all of those against Framber Valdez. Hader always a quick worker. A swing and a miss. 9th inning being brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. 2-0 Astros, 9th inning, 1 away, bases empty. Houston trying to take 2 out of 3. Kelly moves away from an inside fastball. Please stay tuned for Zach Zaidman's post-game show. It'll follow our ball game immediately.
I'd love to see Kelly get on and see Nico come to the plate with a man on.
Outside, 2-2.
You know, Nico's only got 3 home runs on the year. He's got 2 in this series, all 3 on this road trip, but his swing has been right on time with everybody.
The slender left-hander Hader ready in the 2-2. Swinging a fly ball, right center, playable. Smith, the right fielder there, and that's out number 2. We need to name a toast of the game, brought to you by Benny's Beverage Depot. Ron, who do you like today?
How about the welcome home of Ryan Presley? Last 2 ball games he got in the game. Great video tribute to him in game 1, and nice job by him coming back to Houston and pitching some good baseball against his old ball club.
Nico Horner takes outside ball 1. Cubs down to their last chance. 2-0 Houston. Swinging a pop-up. This is going to be foul over near the dugout. It's going to be in play and caught by Diaz. The ball game is over. The Houston Astros have beaten the Chicago Cubs by a score of 2-0. And we'll be back with the totals in just a moment on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hall of Famer Pat Hughes and Ron Coomer bring you all the action on the Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Did you know Minnesota has more shoreline than California, Florida, and Hawaii combined? In the land of 10,000 lakes, endless possibilities await. Start planning your next adventure by visiting exploreminnesota.com.
Hey, it's David Hoffer, Chef IQ. You know the feeling when you're about to cut into a juicy steak and hope it tastes as perfect as it looks? That sounds delicious. Worry no more. The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates undercooking or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat, whether on a stovetop, oven, or grill. The probe is inserted into your food, connected wirelessly to an app. Once you select your desired doneness, the app alerts you when to take the steaks off the grill or the turkey out of the oven. It's that simple. Order one now on chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge. Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Hey folks, Coom here. Chicago summers. They get hot, sweat through your shirt before first pitch hot. That's when you reach for Flight by Yingling. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, light, crisp, refreshing enough to cool you down faster than a lake breeze. Whether you're at the ballpark, grilling out, or just beating the Midwest heat, Flight's your go-to. Flight by Yingling, official beer of the Cubs Radio Network. Now that's a refreshing call. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Thing we're bringing is a brand new Tony Gwynn drop I did with his estate. So we just signed a deal at therealist.com to actually go through his entire archives, present them, and auction them off. And to announce it, we did this limited edition 1994 The Lost Season card. Because, you know, between August of 93 and May of 95, Tony Gwynn batted .406 in 162 games. So in the back, we have the stats of what could have been.
A snack that Freddie cannot resist.
I would have to say chips and guacamole. Organic mango, yeah.
Is that because of the strong Dominican contingent in the major leagues, bro? Is that what, has anybody ever struck out and gone crazy and smashed the cooler full of mangoes?
Nah, our team's not really into smashing each other's stuff, I guess.
Are you a
In just one day, you spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Surround yourself in color with Regal Select from Benjamin Moore. Rich, durable, and effortlessly beautiful. Find yours at your locally owned retailer. Visit benjaminmoore.com today.
Well, a tough one today, Ron. The Cubs and Astros with a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. One swing, a two-run home run by Jose Altuve in the fifth inning was the difference, and the Cubs drop a tough 2-0 decision. Some final thoughts.
Well, one of those ball games, right at the beginning of the day, we talked about this matchup. You had Jameson Taillon coming home, pitching his hometown. You knew he was going to be pretty pumped up to pitch in front of his hometown fans and friends and family. And Valdez, you know, he has been on a roll, and he's one of the elite guys in our game and a big game pitcher. And this was a big game. You know, you Cubs and Astros, 2 first-place teams. Both guys didn't disappoint. Valdez got the better of it. You know, J-Mo, 33 or 34 pitches in inning number 1, but did not give up a run. But one swing of the bat by one of the star players in the game, and that was the whole game. Altuve lobbed one into the Crawford, boxes, and, at the end of the day, that was it.
Well, the Cubs wrap up a 7-game trip, winning 3, losing 4. No game tomorrow. The Cleveland Guardians will be in on Tuesday night, and that should be an interesting series.
Yeah, and I think, for all the big league teams, at this point in the year, off days are very important. And I think Cubs could use an off day, so really you got a day and a half, by the time we get home tonight, before you come to the ballpark on Tuesday. So we'll enjoy the off day.
Ronnie, enjoy your day, and I'll see you on the bus.
I'll see you on the bus, partner.
Cubs and Guardians on Tuesday night at 7:05. The starting pitchers, Matthew Boyd going for the Cubs, and Gavin Williams, a right-hander, starting for Cleveland. Our thanks to our engineer here in Houston, David Obert. He worked with us all 3 games. Thanks to David for a job well done. Thanks to Zach Zaidman, as always. Zach's postgame show is right around the corner, his Verizon postgame show, and he will have that for you momentarily. For former Cub and All-Star Ron Coomer, Pat Hughes saying thank you for listening and good night from Dyken Park here in Houston. Again, the final, the Astros 2 and the Cubs nothing. This has been a presentation of The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast has been brought to you by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WSCR 670 The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network has been presented to you in part by Benny's Beverage Depot, Nissan, Benjamin Moore, Hefty Trash Bags, Latourell Tire, James Hardy Building Products, Volvo, Roofers and Waterproofers Joint Apprenticeship Program, Joel Got Wine, Sloan, Xfinity, It's Not a Game, Illinois.com, your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, and Yingling, the oldest brewery in America.
In Boston, every now and then, you'll do those throwback days where you bring out the big baggy jerseys, and the baggier, the better. When I broke into the league, everybody was wearing really baggy pants, and then as the years go along, I started wearing these skinny, mini, tight pants that looked like they were painted on. So by the time I was with Boston, I really wanted to wear the baggier, the better. We just wanted to be flying around in the outfield there, having a good time.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Billshappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
Now it's time for the Verizon Cubs radio postgame show on 670 The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network. Sponsored in part by Cars for Kids, The Village of New Lenox, Plumbers 911, and by TimberTech Decking and Railing. And now your host, Zach Zaidman.
Astros take the rubber game of this 3-game set, beating the Cubs 2-0 today. Hi, everyone. Zach Zaidman with you in Houston. This is the Verizon Cubs radio postgame show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in Chicago. Jose Altuve's 2-run home run was the difference. Framber Valdez, 6 scoreless innings for the win. Josh Hader, a 1-2-3 ninth for his 23rd save. As the Cubs finish this 7-game road trip with a record of 3-4 overall this season, the Cubs now 49-35 on the year. This was a ballgame that took 2 hours and 27 minutes. The official game time presented by Huntington, home of early pay. More at huntington.com/yourmoney. The Astros with 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors. The Cubs no runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. The Cubs go 1-4-9 with runners in scoring position today. They left 7 men on